Are we live? We better be live. I'm gonna be very sad if we're not. Hello, hello, hello. Testing, testing. With that being said, hello, Link of TW, and congratulations on being the first person in chat that is right, everybody. And for any of the VOD watchers, hello, welcome. Welcome back to the greatest show of all time. And for VOD watchers, I'll include timestamps and description below since we're doing debates. We're specifically talking about abortion today. Maybe we debate some other topics if I get bored of it, but as for right now, the title should be called something like Debate Is Abortion Wrong? Something like that. So yeah, for the live people, hello, Link of TW, congratulations on being the first person in chat. Hello, Randy S. Hello, Shave the Mammal. Hello, Cheese Grater. Hello, Manta TV. Hello, Jack. Hello, Nyla. Hello, Cheese Grater. Hello, Lexi. Hello, Auntie Smiley. Good to see you all here. Hello, Dahlia. And yeah, chat, how do I look today? How's my hair? Is my hair good? I think I might have used a little bit too much blow dryer. I think I over blow dried it. It's like a little bit dry, but whatever. It is what it is. Good. Amazing. Aw, well, thank you. You guys are so sweet. So pretty. Why, thank you. Anyways, with that being said, smash like. I need to go over here and join the on the air room in the debate server. And the reason for that is because, well, you know, people are going to call in, hopefully. I mean, that's the goal, right? So again, the topic is going to be abortion. I'm going to take the stance, which is that, yes, you should be able to get an abortion, obviously. No, non-sentient life forms actually don't warrant moral consideration. But for now, while we wait, we're gonna, you know, just chill out a little bit. We're gonna exist and double tap the smash like, of course. How could you not? And we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk. I guess one thing that I could start out by doing is drinking water, okay? Chat, did you know that this live stream is sponsored by H2O, the greatest beverage of all time? That is right, everybody. Isn't that amazing? It sure is. You better be amazed. If you're not amazed, I'm going to be very angry. And you wouldn't want me to be very angry now, would you? That is right, everybody. But yeah, anyways, with that being said, oh man. Oh man. Hello, Shaved Mammal. Hope you're doing well. Hello, Limer. Good to see you again. Hello, Nesnerd. Saying nuts on the phone. Hey, yo, that's crazy. That's wild. Hello, Derek Cook. Hello, Link of TW. Wait, I already said hello to you. Saying, I broken heart water. What does that even mean? I assume you mean to say you love water, but you said it incorrectly. Hello, Phantom. Hope you're doing well. We don't have any callers thus far. We gotta wait for the algorithm to start recommending me to people so that they can call in and stuff. But I don't know, maybe the YouTube algorithm hates me. Maybe the algorithm gods are like, no, Femyoz, you're not getting any callers today. What do you think? What do you think we are, fucking retarded? You think we want to promote your god-awful content? But, you know, in response, we must fight against the YouTube algorithm gods, okay? Because I am here to debate all of the shitters that want to debate me on abortion, okay? We need some conservative shitters for once, okay? We need some conservatives to come in here and debate me so that I can farm them for content. And, yeah. Hottie is back, also MAGA is dead. You know, maybe that's the real reason. You know, maybe I'm just not getting any views because MAGA just doesn't care anymore. They're just like, yeah, we don't give a fuck no more. We're just gonna go back to sleep. Yes, the stream is sponsored by bottled water. Are you sick of drinking tap water that has estrogen in it? Well, not anymore. Yo, thank you, Randy S, for the $20, you beautiful fucking bastard. Saying, if H2O is such a great drink, why is there no H2O too? Wait, there is. BRB trying something. Very interesting. I don't know. What is it a good idea to drink H2O too? Probably. It's probably a great idea, actually. It's probably one of the best ideas in the world. I'll have you find. What's the debate? First timer here. So basically, we're doing call-in debates, and the specific debate proposition today is whether or not abortion is wrong. So I take the stance that no, abortion isn't wrong. There's nothing wrong with getting an abortion. That's my stance. So I'm waiting for people to come in here and disagree with me. Unfortunately, or fortunately, maybe it's like a good unfortunately, the good kind of unfortunately. Nobody that disagrees with me has shown up. Maybe that just means that nobody in the world disagrees with me anymore. Maybe everyone agrees with me. But I know there's at least one of you watching that disagrees with me. Abortion is not wrong, I agree. My favorite trans streamer, gift to us leftist. Why is abortion not wrong? Flunker Goobus. Do you disagree with me? If you'd like to talk about it, the Discord is linked in the description. It's linked in the little poll. There should be like a poll that shows up that says join here to debate me. You can like screenshot that link and type it in if you need to, or copy paste it, whatever is necessary. You can also click on my channel. One of the links in my channel should say something like debate me here in big old text. Okay, it's a Discord server, and you'll want to join that. And then after you join, you'll want to join the waiting room. So there'll be open call-in debates. There'll be a waiting room. You'll want to join that. And yeah. Do you have a debate finisher? Like a point that bears the rest? What do you mean by debate finisher? I'm a little bit confused. Like a point that bears the rest. I have a few specific points that I'll make, but they're usually internal critiques of other people's positions and explaining why, based on things that they already believe they should agree with my position. I do that quite frequently. If we don't have enough common ground to do that, then maybe I'll take a little bit of a different approach. But, I know the knowledge of the knowers. That's so. Beats the rest. Yeah, I would say that generally the arguments that I make are pro-sentience. So I take primarily the pro-sentience position, which is that if it's the case that a fetus is not sentient, which we know for a fact it's not within the first 26 weeks at the very least, then it's going to be the case that it doesn't warrant moral consideration. And if it's the case that it doesn't warrant moral consideration, why should we prevent people from getting an abortion? Why is it immoral? It doesn't make any sense. Is your hair real? You better believe it is. It's just a little bit dry. Just a little bit dry, but I assure you, it's not a wig. It's real. It's attached to my head. I know. Yeah, you got a little forehead reveal. And I messed up my hair a little bit. Isn't that so awesome? You tricked me into ruining my hair. Very, very epic and based. Now, it appears that there is a person in the waiting room now. So I'm gonna let them join and hope for the best. Now then, with that being said, how do I do this? My hair is gonna be messed up anyway, so oh well. Oh well, that sucks, I guess. But we're gonna power through it regardless. And yeah, I'm gonna drag them into the whatchamacallit. Bear, you're on the air. It even rhymes. How perfect. What's your position? Hello.
I agree with you in the sense that we should start considering it life at sentience. But what's your data behind when we can determine when it's sentient?
I mean, hold on, I'm putting on lip gloss. Give me a sec. Sorry about that. Yeah, so if you just like it based on like all of like the sources that I've come across, and you can literally just look up how long does it take for a fetus to become sentient, right? And the majority of sources say like around like 24, 26 weeks roughly. So I used to say 17 weeks because that was what we knew sort of for certain. So I said that a lot when I started doing debate. Obviously, science has changed. There's some studies that show that that estimate even as high as 35 weeks. So I sort of go with like a fairly conservative estimate of 24 to 26 weeks. So I guess we could go with 24 if you
All
want to
right.
go with like the most conservative estimate.
Okay. And I guess I agree with you in that sense, but like how would you how'd you go about debating that like sentience isn't required to care about life? Like for example, like we have people who are brain dead and they are still considered living and we keep them on life support when they're taking up resources. So like
Yeah, I don't
what
think that we
makes
should do
them
that. I don't think that they
you don't
are
think
worth
we
moral
should do that?
consideration. No. No, that's actually an example I'll bring up. Like, why is it the case that we don't consider brain dead people people, but a non-sentient life form in the womb is, right? And usually they'll try to go down some potentiality argument or some shit like that, and then I can just hit him with the sperm reductio.
Um so you don't think people that are brain dead are considered human? In my
Well,
experience, I've
they would
had it.
be of the human species, but they wouldn't warrant moral consideration. Does that make sense? Not all humans warrant
it
moral consideration. For
yes.
example, if your standard of whether or not something deserves moral consideration is whether or not they're human, then you would necessarily have to grant that you believe that brain dead people deserve moral consideration. I would wager that they don't. Right? It doesn't seem to be the case that there's any real benefit to keeping a brain dead human alive. It doesn't really make any sense. Why would we use those resources? I would argue that it's not immoral to pull the plug there, right? Like there's no harm
But
entailed
could
by that.
what if with the chance that the person becomes not brain dead anymore? Because like people
There
can
is
come
no
back
chance.
from.
But no, once you're brain dead, you can't come back from that, right?
All right. Well, that's the thing.
So
But when you're a fetus, there you are going to become sentient at some point, most
yeah.
likely.
So that's a potentiality argument, and I just hit them with the sperm reductio. It's like, yes, a sperm could also, it has the capacity to go into a woman's vagina and then get the woman pregnant, which becomes a fetus, which can become a person, right? You can draw that same logic back further, right? But nobody who thinks rationally is going to come to the conclusion that it's actually wrong to masturbate because what about the sperm, right?
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. But you would agree that after the 24 weeks of development and then they're sentient, you would say that then it would be wrong to have an abortion because
It
you
depends
have
on
a
how
sentient
far along
life.
we're talking in the pregnancy, right? So, like for instance,
I
I
said
wouldn't be in favor
about
of an abortion. Hold on, I want to clarify because after a certain period of time when they start to become sentient, they're not going to be very sentient. So they might have the sentience of a rat, let's say. So maybe or like a very slight level of sentience, right? Now, I would be against, say, for instance, an abortion, 5 minutes before the baby pops out the pussy, right? I'd obviously be against that. Um, and obviously there's gonna be some in-between area. However, once it gets to a point um where a fetus really warrants like a lot of moral consideration, it's at a point where uh you can sort of just terminate the pregnancy without killing the fetus. You can just do a C-section. You remove them prematurely and they'll be able to survive, right? And that's a thing you can do. So again, it's going to depend on how far along in the pregnancy it is. So I don't really think we
okay.
disagree on that much. Um,
No, yeah, we don't disagree on that much, but I'm saying so you said kind of something about slight sentience. How do you
yeah,
how do you determine what like counts as like full sentience? Like where's that line for you?
I don't know where the exact line would be. I would just defer to whatever the scientific consensus is. Um, but I don't know like the nitty gritty details of that. But I would say like okay, once they have the I don't know, say for instance the same level of sentience as like I don't know, insert animal here, then we should really start taking this seriously. But if they have the sentience of or like this other animal, like a rat or something, like that's not enough to really take seriously. Like yeah, it's like it's wrong to like kill like an innocent rat, right? But it's not so wrong to the point where it's like we need to uh make it illegal to by rat traps that kill the rat, right? Does that make sense?
Sure. Yes, that makes sense.
Okay.
I would have to disagree with that a little bit. I think the argument that like the fetus isn't sentient, it's not really worth that much moral consideration. I agree with you there, but I think once you start gaining sentience and like,
Mm-hmm.
if have you watched an abortion, like a video of an abortion? The
I
baby
probably
fights
have at
back.
some point, but I don't think that you need to. Also, whether or not a creature fights back doesn't determine whether or not it's sentient. So, for instance,
I
like
agree.
a bug, like an insect, might fight back when it's getting eaten alive by the spider, but that doesn't mean it's sentient. So, we wouldn't defer to that.
I agree, but like as you were saying earlier, you can't consider a brain dead person, like you can't morally consider a brain dead person because brain dead person isn't going to
Doesn't
make
have
any kind of
sentience.
response. Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's not
And
about
so
their
I'm
lack of
saying,
response, right? Their body is going to respond to things. It might even respond to stimuli. But that doesn't mean that the brain experiences it, right? So responding to
okay,
stimuli is not the same thing as being sentient.
but you agree at 24 weeks they are sentient, which is
I would
what the
say
thing
I
is.
would say at some point, yeah, around 24 to 26 weeks, they is like the cutoff point for when they start to become sentient. So like it would be any point after that, basically.
Okay, so you would disagree with having an abortion after those 24 to 26 weeks.
Well, not necessarily. I might just weigh the I would give a different moral weight to it. Does that make sense? It would be less preferable. So the if it's the case that the fetus is slightly sentient now, it's not very sentient, it's just like a little bit sentient, right? Then I think you should still be able to get an abortion, right? But if say for instance, we're talking like, pregnancy is coming up soon, it's the fetus is like definitely very sentient, very much so sentient, we wouldn't want to like kill that, right?
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So you would say there is a point though that like that you
Where
would
you shouldn't
say that
kill
like
it.
this
Yeah,
is
I would say once it's the case that you can remove the uh the fetus without it being killed, right? Meaning it wouldn't rely on the body of the mother, right? Then I would say it's fine to like remove them. Or yeah, or I would say you would just remove them at that point, right? And that would be, I think, medically that would be considered a form of abortion. Not all abortions involve actually killing the fetus, from what I understand.
yeah, I think on this topic we do agree a lot. Really,
Okay,
yeah, I was here for your last debate and I was the last one and I just didn't get in. But thank you.
fair.
Yeah, are you going to be debating more this weekend?
I'll try to. I want to do more debate streams for sure.
Yeah, if you do, I'll totally be there. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Sounds good. Have a good one. Bye
You
bye.
too.
Thanks. All right, let me move you, move you. All right. Hello, Joe. You're on the air. Joe. Joe
Uh,
Schmo. Are you there?
what are we debating?
So the debate is abortion. What's your stance on abortion?
Uh, I guess legally pro, like people should be able to have abortions, but
Okay.
morally, I think it's reprehensible in that it's a personal decision that you probably shouldn't take if you want to claim moral superiority.
Okay, so we would agree in the legal context, but not morally. I'm interested to hear what your moral argument against it is.
I don't really have much other than that. I'm a biology major and I'm taking a genetics course in my right now, and just the uniqueness of every single zygote is starting to hit me, I guess. There were just between your parents, there were trillions of potential yous that could have arisen. I don't know, just like the
Okay,
idea that
so
someone would just terminate a fetus just seems a little bit grim, I guess. I don't
you
really
brought
have
up
anything against it legally, though. I think
okay, but
functionally we need
morally you do.
abortions.
So you brought up the concept of uniqueness, right? So you're saying you're a biology major, and that it's wrong because it seems like it's wrong intuitively considering how unique they are. Correct? Am I understanding this correctly?
I think it's like, I don't know. I heard you were talking about like insects or bugs earlier. It's wrong as if you
Yeah.
were to kill a bug. It's just like
Yeah.
it doesn't have. It's not conscious. Doesn't really have
Correct.
any influence. It just
Mhm.
it feels like
Yeah.
stomping on like a bunny or something. You could have.
Well, no, it wouldn't be stomping on a bunny. Bunnies have more conscious experiences than fetuses within the first 24 weeks.
I agree with that, but
Yeah. So it wouldn't, to me, and maybe to you, it might feel that way, but if we're going to make a moral claim, we got to go beyond just, I feel like such and such, right? You might dislike abortion, you might not like the idea, but that's not a moral argument against it. You mentioned the concept of uniqueness. There are plenty of unique things that we get rid of all the time, right? Hell, if we take a look at sperm, I could literally sperm reductio this as well, right? Sperm is also very, very unique. They're very, very different, sperm cells. There's millions of them, and you're killing them every time you goon. You're killing so many of them, and they're all unique. They should
I
all be
think
put
partly
into a
what
woman's
gets me
vagina.
is that once the fetus is like more than 4 weeks old, it will come to term. Like at least genetically, there are no mutations that would have caused that person to be unviable. Because typically, I don't know if you have a genetic mutation that would cause you to die before you were born. It would typically
Mhm.
happen before you would develop to the point where
Right.
it would require an abortion.
So why is it morally wrong after 4 weeks?
I don't know if I had to adopt a moral stance, I would say it would be the zygote, which is like where the morality issue of it comes in. But I don't
All
typically
right.
argue again, moral ideas in general.
Okay.
I think it's kind of
So you're
pointless.
not really somebody that thinks of like, you don't, when you think of like, okay, what's my position on it? You're pro-choice, but not necessarily for moral reasons, but for more pragmatic
I don't
reasons.
know. Part of what I see with the pro-choice movement is just kind of like this like cavalier attitude where it's like, oh, you shouldn't even have a question about someone deciding to have an abortion. Where it's like they can have it, but I should also be able to judge, or other people should be able to have opinions about it. I think,
Well, yeah,
even
you're
though that it
allowed to have
shouldn't have any.
opinions.
I don't think people's opinions should have any. I guess
Right.
it
No,
shouldn't be
and
used as
you're
the
and you
basis for the
have
legality of it. I don't like how Christians use their moral worldview and belief
correct.
system to basically restrict abortion, even though I have my own moral,
Correct.
I
And
guess,
that's
conflict
something
with
that I
it.
can respect. Like I respect that because oftentimes what you'll see Christians that can't really make the distinction between church and state, and I find that that's very problematic. And I would just say to that, um, I guess, yeah, you do have like a right to have your opinion, of course. Like you are allowed to judge people, right? Now I might judge you for judging people, of course. That's also
Well, even like
you know,
when I think about it, it gives me kind of like a bad taste. But I'm not out there, thinking about people having abortions and like being
right.
judgmental all the time. It's not. I'm typically
Okay.
more thinking about people being blown up in Gaza or something. I feel like that's a
Correct.
lot
I
more
think that
precious
that's
than
probably going to
abortion.
be a lot bigger of an issue.
But
But
if
yeah,
it's a topic to debate, just to debate, then yeah, I'll take an opposition stance when it comes to morality, I guess.
I guess I just because you haven't really presented much of a moral argument other than just I feel like this is wrong.
Well, I've never really thought about why I don't like it, so that's, I don't know, kind of why I try to debate it. Not doing a
Okay.
very good job though.
It's okay. So is there like a reason you believe it's wrong? Do you have like a core reason? Are you religious?
I don't. Part of it was that like I noticed that abortion trends typically are higher in like impoverished communities. So if they
Mhm.
weren't impoverished, they probably otherwise might have had those kids. So it's
Well, I think
it's a socioeconomic issue as well, that
yes.
then you would have to get into a critique of capitalism, and then it's that's past abortion again.
Yeah, and granted I have a lot of critiques of capitalism. To that I would just say from the perspective of those people that are getting abortions, like it makes sense that they would, right? If you're not in a financially stable situation, you probably should get an abortion until you are in a situation where you are ready to have kids, where you're able to raise them, right? Because the outcome, if it's either going to be the case that a person does or doesn't want kids. If they do want kids at some point, the outcome is going to be the same in terms of the amount of kids they end up producing. The difference is going to be, or slash raising, the difference is going to be how well those kids are raised and the environment that they're raised in. And generally, it's going to be better for society if they're raised in an environment where their family is financially stable. They don't have to worry about whether or not they're going to get to eat dinner tonight, right? It's like, yes, dinner is there every night. They have a good education, etc., right? The parents are responsible and ready for it, right? I think that that's going to be a much better outcome, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I would agree.
I think, okay, so you agree with that. I don't really think you disagree with my reasoning all that much. I think you just sort of have an intuitive
I feel
feeling
like
about certain
that,
stuff.
I don't know, it's, I guess, perspective, but that terminated fetus would have been a person, and the fact that it would have been a, full potential, human life, just that potential being kind of like shut down, kind of.
Right. But if say for instance you choose not to have the sex that
But that's
leads to
not
the
also, it's not
pregnancy,
very based in reality. It's not, based in material reality. It's perspective. It's
it's
more,
your
I
perspective.
don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, because to
That's
that
why I
I would
don't
just say,
find value in debating things like this, and that's why it should just be legal regardless.
I want to challenge you a little bit. I want you to, after this conversation, I want you to think a lot about why you think the things that you do. I want you to ask yourself, why is it the case that I have this sort of intuitive feeling of wrongness here? Right? Because I don't have an intuitive feeling of
I
wrongness when it
think
comes to
partly
abortion.
it's because I'm not sure if I believe in aspects of spiritualism. And I mean, I think I'm an atheist, but I'm not exactly certain.
Okay. I'm agnostic. So I'm sort of the position that, like, if there is a God, it's not going to be one depicted by any religion.
Before
That's
I
sort of where I
looked at it
stand.
as like, oh, it's just a clump of, literal cells. What matters if you kill it? But now it's,
Hmm.
I don't know, if you think about concepts of soul, then like, I don't know, then that complicates it, but I don't really believe in any of that.
Yeah. I guess if you
But I'm
introduce the
also not
concept of a
exactly,
soul,
I
like
don't
if it,
have very
well,
definitive
under a
beliefs.
Christian worldview, well, under a Christian world, like if I believed like descriptively in the correctness of Christianity, I would just say to that, like, okay, so that's like a soul that instantly gets to go to heaven. Like that seems like we're doing them a net positive, right? It's actually a good thing.
Yeah, I guess for the
That would
Christian
be my
worldview,
response to
that they
that.
would be damned if they were born. So if they got terminated, that'd probably be like a.
Yeah, it'd be like a net positive, right?
Another thing I kind of was thinking about was like the antinatalist position, where like some people don't even think that we should bring anyone into this world.
Yeah, I disagree with
I
that.
don't
I
even
think
know if I
that's like a
necessarily even
silly
oppose that,
position.
because I can kind of agree with it, but at the same time, it's just too radical to be, like a practical belief system. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't take the antinatalist position either. I think it's a little bit silly to say like you
But
ought
I'd feel
not have
pretty guilty
children.
for having a kid right now. I wouldn't lie.
Yeah. Like I think that people should just have, like, people should determine whether or not they have kids based on like, okay, is this something they want? Is it responsible for them to do so? Would they be able to raise them in a stable environment, etc., right?
Another thing is eugenics, which like, abortion, you could, in a eugenicist society, if you're very, open to abortion, then that could be used in like a horrific manner, although I highly doubt that would happen in the United States of America or really anywhere. But
Correct, but the issue there would be the whole eugenics aspect of it, not the abortion aspect. The abortion wouldn't be wrong in of itself. It's abortion is used as a mechanism for like some sort of greater project, and that project would be what's wrong. And stopping abortion wouldn't stop that project.
I guess my moral problem, now that I'm thinking about it more, with abortion is specifically to do with like America and then the capitalist preconditions that are kind of surrounding it and
Mm-hmm.
causing, you can't really separate abortions in a capitalist society from the socioeconomic system that predominates.
I
Being
agree to
opposed
an
to that, I
extent.
feel like that's why I feel kind of opposed to abortion, just because I have an association with the socioeconomic side.
Yeah. I guess in terms of the socioeconomic side of things, I would just be in favor of addressing those issues specifically. Does that
Well,
make sense?
that was my kind of I don't know, idea system, was that if you could reduce poverty and reduce, these things that might drive you to have an abortion, then abortions would naturally come down, and then you wouldn't need to ban them to try to reduce them, which is what the Christian method is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess I don't really think we disagree all that much other than like you have like sort of like a moral position based on intuition. I do want you to obviously sort of think about it off stream. I see some people that, you know, seemingly disagree with me in chat. I don't see you guys in the waiting room. You gotta join the server to
Yeah, I
debate me.
mainly joined because no one else was there to debate, so
Fair. Join the waiting room. You'll be next. There's literally nobody there. If you want to debate me, if you want to debate me in front of 290 of our closest friends and family, then that's the way to do it. And if you've been enjoying the content, double tap the
okay. I
smash
just saw
like.
someone said if you had a kid that had a crippling birth defect, and then like it goes down to your successive generations. He said something about that in the comments. That's not how genetic mutations work. If you have a crippling genetic defect, because your parents gave it to you, you're gonna die in the womb. That's how it works. If you're born, you're pretty much good to go. Like I don't know, genetic mutations that are lethal or cause deleterious effects are typically like very bad and would kill you after like just a couple weeks of development. So like eugenics is not a good idea, guys.
Let's see.
I don't know,
What's
this chat is
chat's?
cancer. I'm looking at it. This is really bad.
Yeah, and they're not joining the waiting room. They want to like talk shit in chat, but they won't join the waiting room. It's very interesting. I know she is pretty and I am straight. Hell yeah.
Although,
Let's see. I
okay,
just
I'm
think
not
you're
gonna
cute.
bore you guys with
Okay.
fucking genetics
Fair.
information.
Oh,
I think I'm just gonna leave.
Bear is in the waiting room. I'm interested in hearing what they have to say. All right. Um actually I'll let Manta join first.
Right.
Anyways, Joe,
Nice
thank you for
talking to you.
coming on. It's actually been a pleasure talking to you. And have a nice day.
You too.
Thanks. Oh, I guess Bear is next. Manta disappeared.
Oh,
Hello.
hello.
Welcome back. What do you want to talk
Yeah.
about?
You said, like, saw a chat comment, and I thought it would be interesting to bring up, if females can have, like, the kind of out, like, of the abortion thing, do you think men kind of deserve any, like, responsibility or lack thereof responsibility to not support a child that they didn't want because if females can just abort it? Do you think there's any?
Yes. If it's the case that she can get an abortion and then the guy is like, well, I never agreed to having kids and they obviously didn't agree to having kids beforehand, then yeah, I think that the guy should be able to be like, well, if you choose to not get an abortion, that's a you problem. Because at the end of the day, they never consented to having children,
Okay,
right? A lot
I
of it
guess
does
one
boil
thing.
down to consent, right? So so obviously the woman, or generally it's the woman, not always, trans men can get pregnant too. Maybe that'll be a debate in a future episode. Um, but
Run
yeah,
it back Saturday.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, that would be my position.
Okay,
Is
yeah.
yeah. All right, have a good one.
Yep, you too.
Thanks. Hello, Dan. You're on the air.
Well, hello. All right. Sorry. Hello.
Hello.
So I'm curious about this topic. What's your overall stance? I kind of joined the stream a little late, so I'm just curious.
I take the pro-choice stance and mainly make pro-sentience arguments in favor of it.
Okay. So, like,
So-
could you describe that like a little? Yeah. Thank you.
So it's going to be the case within the first 24 to 26 weeks that we know for certain that the fetus is not sentient, right? And because it's not sentient, it doesn't warrant moral consideration. Therefore, there is nothing wrong with getting an abortion, right? Does that make sense?
I guess it kind of makes sense. Yeah, I think I could understand that. I will of course make the argument that it could eventually become a child, and if nothing's getting in the way, but you did cover that. I think my point is I do agree we should consider it as an option, right? Definitely should be. I just think that there's a lot of irresponsible people who just use it instead of like condoms or birth control, and I think that's something that is important
here's the
to
thing,
think
is
about.
I'm a proponent of safe sex, of course. Look, the types of people that don't have safe sex are not fit to raise children. I'm sorry. So if anybody needs an abortion, it's them because they're not ready to have kids, right? Let's be for real.
I do think that's absolutely a fair point. But I do think maybe other things should be done aside from just an abortion. Like, I do feel like if that wasn't an option, there wouldn't be so many. There'd be more of a, if they made more of a strict guideline, like maybe doing it better, that antinatalism perspective of like, really think before you have kids, really pushing that idea, I think is important. Obviously, just you don't kill everybody or have everybody not have kids. But I think really making sure that raising kids, that's very important, and that needs to be institutionalized a lot more.
Yeah,
instead of just like aborting more kids.
If you plan on having kids, like you should know what you're doing. Yeah, I would agree with that. Like you should have some idea as to like how you're gonna raise them and stuff like that. So I don't really think we disagree on much.
I think though societally it needs to be implemented a lot more, and I think that you could absolutely cut back just the idea of like there needs to be more government mandates on raising kids better, and like
what
that kind of stuff, making sure people. That's the thing. I'm not 100% sure. I only stopped in real quick just to kind of see your stance and ask about like a few things. But like that's my thing is I would want more, less specifically, just like that idea to be brought, because most people don't really consider life to be that important. I hear a lot of people who just have a kid and they make the like, oh man, I wish I didn't have kids joke, and that's really harmful for the upbringing of a lot of people.
Definitely don't make that joke in front of your child. Like, unless they know it's like a joke. Like, as long as it's not serious, you don't actually think that, and the kid is like in on the joke.
They really can't know. Subconsciously,
though. No, because like, here's the thing. It depends on the dynamic of the family and who it is, and like how old the kid is. Like, I don't know. Like me and my parents make jokes like that sometimes. Maybe not that specifically, but like we make jokes at each other's expense, right? And that's just sort of how the family works. Right? Some families aren't going to be like, it really depends. Now, granted, I'm 21, I'm an adult, so it makes sense that like those jokes would be funny. Obviously, you wouldn't want to say that to a 5-year-old, right? There's like a little bit of a difference there. Yeah.
Of course.
All right.
Well, like again, I feel like is there really like no other solution aside from just like abortions are like super easy to get?
Well, yeah, because like
I don't know.
Forced birth would not be a solution. So yes, abortion.
Oh, absolutely not. I just think like birth control should, or like Plan B or something, should be a much more like
accessible
pushed solution.
Yes. Correct.
Not even like accessible, just pushed. But I feel like I hear a lot of people have the impression or opinion that it's like, safe sex doesn't matter. I can just have an abortion whenever I want. And there are a lot of people that like genuinely hold that position. Which I think if birth control and stuff was pushed
that's definitely irresponsible. But I would argue that like getting an abortion in of itself isn't wrong. So
yes, but I don't think normalizing it. I think that you're right. Getting it inherently isn't wrong to a point. I just think it's like there are so many other solutions than just
beforehand. Yeah, I don't what I mean? We disagree all that much. Because this is like a debate stream. I don't think we disagree on anything. So I'm gonna move to the next caller because we don't really disagree. I'm trying to find somebody I disagree with. So thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure, and have a nice day.
Yeah, have a good one.
All right. I'm gonna move on to who is that? Rooses? Hello, you're on the air. Welcome.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you? I assume you're here to talk about abortion?
Yeah, and I would disagree with it.
Okay, why do you disagree with it?
because I find it murder, in my opinion.
Okay, what is murder?
Murder is killing another being.
Another being? So if I kill a mosquito, is that murder?
Yes.
Okay, is it bad to kill a mosquito?
Yes.
Why?
Because it is a being.
Yeah, but why is that
Of
bad?
course, it has its purpose. For example, I've grown up in a culture where, you know, abortion is a topic that wasn't resonated with people. It appears that like abortion comes and goes. You know what I mean? Like you only talk about it when the time needs to come about it. You know what I mean?
Well, no, I don't need an abortion. I'm talking about it right now, so. Um,
Are you familiar with the term SK?
no.
It's so where I'm from the northern region of Iraq. SK
Okay.
is a term that talks about how like life is sacred. We should believe that life is, you know, all well, all forgiven, and
Is it
from the
wrong to
God.
wash your hands?
Is it wrong to no?
Why not? You're murdering bacteria. All the innocent bacteria is getting murdered. It's living. It's like a living being.
Well, in my opinion, I don't think you should uh, kill other human beings.
Okay, so is it on the basis of whether or not it's human?
Well, I would like to retract my statement on it being a mosquito. I would like to say you cannot kill human beings.
Okay, so you can kill a mosquito.
Yes.
Okay. So it's not wrong to kill a mosquito. I'm glad we agree on that. Because if we didn't, oh man, that would be a problem. Mosquitoes are so fucking annoying. I have to kill them. They're
Agree
the
with
most
that.
annoying shit ever. So I'm glad we agree on that because mosquitoes annoy the fuck out of me.
I agree with that.
Okay. Why do humans warrant moral consideration?
May you repeat that statement, please?
Why is it the case that human beings, specifically, warrant moral consideration?
Because we are of the same species.
Yeah, why is that relevant?
Because we are of the same species.
Yeah, but why is that relevant? You're just repeating yourself.
Well, it's relevant because here I want to ask you another question after I say
No.
this.
I want you to answer mine because I asked
Yeah,
you a
yeah, yeah.
question
Why
first.
is it relevant? Why is it
Yeah.
relevant? If we're of the same species,
Yeah, why is that relevant?
a potential life form that could, you know, help people, inspire people,
You could also be
forgive,
Hitler.
forget. It could also be Hitler. There's the possibility of
Yeah.
that. Do you believe in God?
No.
All right. Like, have you ever explored religion?
Yes.
What types of religion? Or
Mainly, predominantly Christianity. I've looked into a little bit of Islam. Didn't really resonate with me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. So, are you against? So you're against abortion? Are you against
No.
human
I'm okay
rights?
with abortion. I'm not against abortion.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my English is sorry.
You're
Are
good.
you? Sorry. Are you against human rights then?
Why would I be against? What do you mean by human rights? I think human rights should apply to sentient humans.
But you
For instance,
do
I don't
not
think
believe.
a human being that's brain dead warrants human rights. I think you should be able to pull the plug.
All right, but wouldn't killing a potential life form, a potential, you know, person
Well, a
warrants?
potential person. Well, no, because like a sperm
I
has the
meant I.
potential. No, because like a sperm cell has the potential to go into a woman's vagina and get her pregnant, and then that can become a person, right? But we wouldn't say it's wrong to like, I don't know, like disregard semen, right?
Semen is different
Wait, why is that different?
because It's semen. Semen needs
Yeah, but
to
like, why is it
fertilize
different? Yes, so?
because semen is simply just DNA. It's
Yeah, and
yeah,
it's
and it
living. It's
needs.
alive. It's technically alive.
It's alive. It's alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so every time you bust a load, you're committing a genocide, right? Against millions of unborn babies?
No.
Why not? But they all have the potential to go into a woman's vagina and create a person.
Yes, after they fertilize into gametes.
No, they have the potential to do that. So before, they would still have the potential. Right? So like the living sperm cells have the potential to go into the woman's vagina and fertilize the egg.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wouldn't it be murder to then, not do that and to like disregard the sperm cell?
I mean, I would agree on that,
Why?
but because it's relative to what I said before about life having potential.
Yeah, but it still has potential, right? Like semen has
Yeah.
potential to go into the vagina and create a person. So based on the potentiality argument, it would be wrong to murder semen, right? It'd be wrong to disregard it.
No, but abortions are undeniably the cornerstone of civilization, unless
What?
you count socks. When one considers the quantum migration of ducks across invisible spaghetti highways, it becomes
I
clear that bread is only a metaphor for destiny, or
okay,
possibly Wi-Fi.
can you like make an argument though? Like it's like a cool poem and all,
About
but like I'm hoping you'd make an argument.
oh,
If
oh
you
no,
can't, I'll just move on to the next caller.
I'm just reading off of the questions I have. Here, I have another one.
What?
I have another question.
Okay.
May-
What's your
So,
question?
so you believe abortion can have possible duck teleportation powers that prove reality?
No. Moving on to the next person. Fuck that. Hello, Alyssa. Welcome. I assume you're here to debate me.
I'm getting like a little bit of echoing. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you. It's not echoing on my end. I think you might have my stream on, so maybe that's what the echo is.
Okay, let me turn it off.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
I've never used Discord before.
No, it's okay.
Oh my god, that was mind numbing.
Yeah, it was.
So I'm an ultrasound major, and before I started the program, I guess you would say pro-life.
Okay.
And the way I was raised, because fetus is inherently like separate DNA, it's a new being. That means that it has its own soul. Like the Bible says that we are knit in our mother's.
Yeah, well, I don't believe in the Bible.
I
don't believe
understand
any of
that,
that
but
shit.
I'm explaining my perspective from start to finish, and I am now.
Yeah, I'm just clarifying.
No, that's perfectly fine. But if you want to understand people's argument, you need to know where they're coming. So
Yeah,
if
you're
you're
like
not,
cutting in and out a little bit though. Can you like
you
get
hear me
closer
now?
to the mic? Yeah, I
you
can
hear?
hear you. It's just like, yeah, you were just like cutting in and out.
Okay, I use a wired headphone. It could be that.
Okay. Yeah, I think it sounds better now.
But what I was saying is, in order to understand the other side of the argument, saying where they're coming from. So even if you've delved into religion yourself, it's good to understand those verses because people are going to draw on them, and in order to debate them, you need to know what they are.
Yeah, I mean, if I wanted to debate somebody on religion, then I would do like a separate stream for that.
Okay,
But
we're not. Let me finish.
yeah, so like I'm not gonna like pay attention to like their religious worldview. If they want to debate me on religious shit, they can do that.
Okay, moving on. That was very dismissive. I don't really appreciate that.
You're right. I dismissed the bad argument.
It's not an argument. You didn't know what my argument was yet.
Right.
Okay, so that was my perspective at the beginning, right? And then I started going to OB classes, started getting more information. And do you know anything about fetal development for like beginning to first trimester?
I'm not too familiar.
Okay. So basically I've seen a lot of people say like, hey, it's a clump of cells. That's not necessarily accurate. Just
Okay, what am I
like the
saying?
first 2 weeks. What are you saying?
Yeah, what am I saying? Because that's not,
What are
my
you
argument
saying?
isn't on the basis of
Oh,
whether or
tell
not
me.
it's a clump of cells. My
Okay,
argument is on the
so
basis of whether or not it's sentient, right? So I don't care if
it
it's a
is.
clump of cells or if it looks like a person. I care if it's sentient, right?
Okay, well, I know for a fact that 10 weeks fetuses are sentient.
Really? What's your evidence of
Yeah.
this?
When you put the probe, the transducer probe, into the vaginal canal, it wakes the baby up.
It wakes the baby up.
Yeah, they go from
You have a
sleeping
source?
and I'm literally an ultrasound tech. Like
Like,
I'm
what do you
telling
mean by
you,
wake up? Like, does it respond to stimuli? Because that's what it
yes,
sounds like.
yes,
So if it
because
responds to
when
stimuli,
that
that
does.
doesn't necessitate a level of consciousness, right?
No, but what you said was sentient. You said you're against abortion or you're for abortion because fetuses are
It's
not
not
sentient.
sentient or conscious. Yeah.
What is sentient?
What?
Fine. Can you give me a definition for the word sentience?
Here, give me a sec. I'll just do the Google definition. That'd be easier.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh my god, why is AI? Oh my god, why is it giving me AI? Okay, the broad definition: the capacity for conscious experience, or having something it's like to be that organism.
Okay, you need a deeper definition from that because I literally just looked it up. My wasn't look it up right now. I can read it to you.
Okay, because like
'Cause
that's
you
generally
just
what I'm referring to when I talk about
Okay.
sentience. Is the broad
So
definition?
sentience is the capacity to feel or perceive things. This includes hearing, touch, temperature. It's not just brain development, like brain
Well,
activity.
you would have to have some sort of qualitative subjective experience
Okay,
in order to warrant
so
moral consideration.
if you went from not feeling a probe getting close to your mom's cervix pushing on you, and then you felt that after,
Well, no,
and
they wouldn't be
responded
feeling
to
it. They would just be responding to stimuli. Those aren't the same thing.
that's what sentient.
So do you believe that
Sentience
mosquitoes are
is-
sentient?
Yeah.
Okay, well then we just have a different definition of sentience.
No, because they are sentient.
Oh, okay, so is it wrong to murder a mosquito?
No.
Oh,
What is
why
murder?
not?
Tell me what murder is.
Well, they're killing something.
Murder is not just killing something.
Right. It'd be killing an innocent thing.
Murder
An
is
innocent creature.
the unjust killing of another life.
Yeah, what's your justification for killing a mosquito?
Okay, we're not talking about that. We're talking abortion though. So when we talk about what is murder and because what you're saying that
I'm not even interested in whether
asking-
or not we categorize it as murder. I'm interested in whether or not it's immoral to get an
well,
abortion.
do you
I'm
think
interested in the moral
do you think
aspect.
murder is immoral?
Depends on your definition of murder.
No, there's only one definition of murder. Like it's the unjust killing. Even if
Based on
we're
that
going to say
definition,
the
based on
unjust,
that definition, yeah, if it's unjustified, right, meaning that it causes more harm than good, then no, it wouldn't be
do you eat meat?
by its definition.
Do you eat meat?
I'd rather not.
Okay, but do you? I asked, do you eat meat?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
which is a moral
Do you
wrong.
believe? Okay, so you're okay with killing a cow?
No, I said that's a moral wrong.
Are you? But you do it.
I literally agree with the vegan position.
Okay, but you just said that you agree with the vegan
Yes,
position,
I
but
do
you're
the
not
thing that's
vegan,
morally wrong.
Okay, so you think killing is okay sometimes?
Well, yeah, I think that killing is okay sometimes.
Okay, when is killing not okay?
When it causes more harm than good.
To who? That's subjective.
No, it would be objective.
No, it's not. It's subjective when you look at things in relation to each other. But it's subjective.
So, like, for instance, it would be wrong to I don't know, like, go down the street and like murder a random person. That'd be murder, right? That'd be
what if the random
unjustified.
person was Hitler?
Then it would be a moral good.
But you didn't know
If it's
that
the case
before
that
you
well, hold
decided
on.
to
If
kill
it's the
them.
case that you know that they're Hitler, right? Because I would base it off
Okay.
of predicted utility, not utility in of
Mhm.
itself, right? Because we make
Okay,
decisions based on predicted utility.
Okay, so let's come back to abortion because that's what we're debating.
We're talking about the morality of abortion specifically. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, but this is where I'm going to teach you something too,
Okay.
because
Teach
you also do the argument for abortion a disservice, and I'm saying that as a woman who can potentially
Okay.
have kids and can potentially have an abortion,
Okay.
because the question shouldn't be is this moral? The question should be is abortion, and
Is
that's where we
abortion
base
what? You cut out.
humane.
Humane. Why?
Yes, because again, if we're okay with killing sometimes, murder is right because murder is the unjust killing of another life. Be it because I believe you can murder too. I feel like if you kill an animal in a way that's unjustifiably sadistic and or causing undue suffering and harm, I do believe that's murder. I think if you rip legs of spiders, you shouldn't do that. Like that's wrong.
Sure. I would argue
Mhm.
well in the case of spiders, I don't
No, because
think it's the, I
even
don't
if
believe
it's
I
a
don't believe it's
spider
the
that
case.
doesn't.
I would be against it, but not for the reasons that you would be. I think it would cause harm to the psyche of the person doing it and would encourage
No, it
generally
doesn't.
negative behaviors.
But it's not causing harm if it's causing pleasure. It's
Well, it
it's
would be
socially
short-term
wrong.
pleasure, but in order to socially allow for that, you're socially allowing for some, what's generally considered to be pretty psychotic behavior, right? Like you're taking
Yeah,
pleasure
but
in
the
what you perceive
person,
to be the suffering of another being,
yeah,
right? Even if it's the case that
right.
that being is not actually suffering, right? That the perception that it is and that's where you're deriving the
Mhm,
enjoyment from would cause you to do
mhm.
things in the future that would cause harm, right? So generally,
Other people,
we ought
right?
not encourage that behavior, right? Because if you think, because
Mhm,
what psychopaths will do in many cases is
mhm,
they'll start with insects, then they'll move to small animals, then they'll move to bigger animals, then they move to
mhm.
humans, and that's why we ought not incentivize that sort of behavior
Okay, but what
at
if
any
that
point.
human is
What if that human is what?
what if that human is bad? What if the psychopath is killing murderers or rapists?
Yeah, if they're removing them from society, I wouldn't say that that's immoral or wrong.
Okay, so again, we're gonna come back because and then that's getting into like when we classify mental, right? Part
When we
of it is
classify what? You're like cutting out
mental
again.
illness. Mental
Uh-huh.
illness. Theodore said.
Okay. Yeah.
Just checking because I am using mental illness usually like when we say like hey this or they have
You're like really cutting in and out. If you can't fix that, I'm just gonna move on to the next caller. I'm sorry.
but we didn't even get to the abortion part. Let's come back to that.
Yeah, but if you're like
Because
cutting in and out half the time, like I can't do this. Like you're gonna have to get a better mic. That doesn't, or you're gonna have to change your Discord settings or figure your shit out. Because if I
does
can't
it
hear
sound
half the
fine
word,
now?
yeah, it sounds fine now.
Okay, so let me get it in real quick and then I'll let you move on to the next person if that's okay with you. So
Yeah, sure.
I wanted to tell you when you're arguing whether abortion should be legal or not, or if it's moral, because you said like is it moral? You look
Yes.
at whether this procedure is it causing pain unnecessarily to something that is sentient, and we know it's sentient because it responds to stimuli. The stimuli
No,
in
that's not
my
what sentience
example,
means. That's
it
not what
is.
sentience means.
It's the
No, not by
ability to feel or touch.
any definition that anyone uses
Oh, because
colloquially.
no, but we're talking about what the definition is now. You're talking about colloquial use definitions. That doesn't
Yeah,
make
when
any
I
sense.
use words, I'm gonna use them colloquially, generally speaking.
But not the actual definition.
Right. So it just seems to be the case that you're like intentionally not interpreting what I'm saying in terms of what you know
No,
I mean when I say the words.
you're
Right? So
intentionally
what you
not
already
using the
know that when I
definition.
say you already know that when I talk about sentience, right? I'm talking
Mhm.
about the capacity for conscious experience. You have to be able to experience something in order to be
Okay, then
sentient.
you're not talking about sentience. You're talking
Yes,
about
I am.
conscious
That's absolutely
experience. That's
okay,
not
fine.
sentience.
Fine. We'll change it to conscious experience.
Okay,
What is your issue
so
with my position? We'll replace the word sentience with conscious
mhm,
experience if that makes it easier
okay,
for you.
okay. So in that case, is it moral to kill someone who, you know, I guess disabled?
No, they have conscious experiences.
But how do you know?
What?
How do you know? Like, what if we're talking about?
Inductive
We're talking.
reasoning.
Okay, so what if someone was in a coma, right?
People are
they
conscious
don't
in
want
comas. They have experience. Well, they're not. They have experiences in comas. Like they experience some sort of qualia.
Okay, but they can't
Okay,
respond.
so then
They're the vegetable brain dead.
Yeah. Just because they can't respond doesn't mean that they don't have experiences.
Okay, so
They do have
if you're
experiences. There
a
are people that have
10-week-old
dreams.
fetus
There are
and you
people that have
can't
dreams while they're in comas.
Okay, but when we're talking about fetuses, like we're talking about also like the neural tube, neural development, right? What about brain activity? Do we care about that? Brain activity in the womb. Fetuses can recognize faces.
If they're conscious.
Did you? Okay, so do you know that?
If
So
they,
then
if they have,
there
if
should
they
be a
have
limitation.
conscious experiences, if they have qualitative subjective experiences, then we would care.
Okay, so they do because they can recognize their
no.
mother's faces and recognize their mother's voices. They respond to outside stimuli.
A computer can recognize faces too. Do computers have
Is a
qualitative
computer
subjective
a fetus?
experiences?
Is a computer a fetus?
I'm making a comparison. So the standard
No,
you set is whether or not
you're
it can
comparing
recognize
something-
faces. So if it's is it the case? Yes or no? Is it the case
Is a
that
computer alive?
It doesn't. I'm not asking whether or not it's alive. I want you to answer my question. Which
No,
is,
because your question leads
the standard.
nowhere.
The
Your
standard
question
you set.
doesn't make sense.
Wrong. The standard you set is whether or not it has the capacity to recognize faces. A computer is able to recognize faces. Would we therefore say that the computer warrants moral consideration? Of course not. So that wouldn't be the standard that we would use.
Okay, but is a computer a fetus?
No, nobody is saying it is.
You are. You're trying to say that these two things are equivalent.
No, I'm not saying that they're the same thing. I'm saying that the standard
said
that
equivalent.
you set, I'm saying that your standard is illogical because you would have to apply your standard universally.
No, you don't have to apply
Okay,
the standard
why?
of perceiving your
So
mother's
you use
face to a
inconsistent
computer.
standards. So
I
you
don't.
use inconsistent moral standards. Oh, so you use consistent moral standards. So
Yeah,
why is
I
it the
do.
case that a computer that's able to recognize faces
Mhm.
isn't conscious, but a fetus is? Make that make sense?
Because it has no brain.
Yeah, and
But a CPU is not a brain.
it has a
fetus
computer brain. It
development.
has like a computer brain. What's the difference?
Is it made of blood?
Why does it have to be made of blood?
Because we're talking about human life.
Yeah, and
humans have blood. And humans have
yeah,
blood.
doesn't make you sentient. There are plenty
It
of
doesn't.
non-sentient life forms, there are plenty of non-conscious
Okay,
experiencing life
is why-
forms that have blood.
Okay, this is why I'm saying you're doing the argument for abortion a disservice because
No,
you're
I'm not
making
doing it a
a-
disservice. You're
And I'll
making
show
bad
you how
arguments.
to-
If
I'm not
anyone's doing
making
any
that
argument a
argument.
disservice, it's you doing the pro-choice position. Or sorry, you're doing the pro-life position a major disservice with your argumentation here.
No, I'm not. I'm actually doing
Yes,
a better
you
defense
are.
of the person who came before.
No,
Your comments, see
yeah,
what
that's a
chat
really
says.
low bar.
Your chat says. I haven't looked
Yeah,
at it. I don't know
you're
what they're saying.
doing. Don't read
Because-
chat
because-
in the middle of a debate. You can read it after.
Because when you're arguing for abortion, again, it should be because it's humane.
Why?
Abortion
I'm arguing
should
about
be
the
legal.
morality
Why?
because it's not immoral.
And what does that do for anyone?
Well,
Like,
if something
what
isn't
is-
immoral, then why should it be illegal?
Okay, and that's what I'm saying.
All
If
things
is-
that are
so
moral
do you think,
slash
do you think
amoral,
inhumane?
all
okay,
things.
what's
Hold
moral?
on, all things that are not immoral, all
Mhm.
things that are not immoral,
that are not moral should be illegal.
correct. So if
Okay.
I make the case that it is not immoral, then it logically follows that
But you
yes,
know what
it should be
what a
legal.
case for abortion would be? Neural tube development, right? And not just the neural tube development, because that's what eventually becomes our nervous system, the capacity for pain. So you can be
Okay.
sentient, you can have the ability to feel, but do you feel pain? And up to a
Would-
certain point, we don't have definitive proof that fetuses feel pain in the same capacity that we. And that's why, while I do with abortion with limitation, there should be some avenue at some point in the beginning, especially when birth defects. This is what I'm saying when you're making a bad argument. Your argument for abortion,
What
whether
is
it's
my
immoral or not, you're saying that it's blanket not immoral, right?
Yeah, within the first 24 to 26 weeks, yeah.
But did you know, again, that before 24 weeks, there is sentience?
No, that's just not true. All of the science,
It is.
all of
Oh
the
my
scientific
God.
consensus disagrees with you. You're just wrong about
Have you
that.
taken? What class have you?
What?
Have you taken?
I don't have
taken
to.
OB
I have
class?
Google. I can Google things.
Okay,
So it might be the case that you have taken classes, but other people that have taken the same classes as you and have gotten even further in their education disagree with you. So we can't defer to that, right? What we're going to do is we're going to defer to a scientific consensus, not one singular scientist.
Legally,
We don't defer to one singular scientist. We refer to a consensus.
yeah, like I said, and you said 24 weeks, right?
24
Well,
to
we have
26.
24 to 26. We have reason to believe that the capacity to feel is prior to that. And again, abortion should be legal up to what point? And
At
in
the
my
very
opinion,
least,
from my
24 to
medical,
26 weeks.
in my medical experience, it would be less than. And after that, it is immoral.
But it's not immoral. Because again, you haven't established why they would actually be able to experience anything. Responding to stimuli doesn't mean that you actually experience anything. A brain dead human responds to certain stimuli physically.
You're saying they don't experience anything, but
Yeah,
if
does a brain dead human have conscious experience?
what do you think is conscious experience? The capacity
I'm
to
asking
create
you a
thought
question
and say
and
it
I
out
want you
loud?
to answer it.
No, I want you to clarify your.
It means that you have some sort of qualitative subjective experience. Now answer my question.
Okay, but what is that? I'm asking.
Answer my question.
I don't understand.
I'm asking you a question. Is it the case? Okay, is it the case that a brain dead human, is it the case that they have conscious experience? Yes or no?
Oh, it depends on the person. And are we talking about?
No,
do
it
they
doesn't
have or do they have it
depend.
currently?
If they are brain dead, they don't have conscious experience. That is a scientific fact.
Okay, so what do we do with them?
Well, whatever we want. It doesn't matter.
So you can rape a person in a coma?
Well, no,
I would. Or a dead
well,
person?
hold on. A coma would be different. If we're talking about a brain dead person, I would still say no.
You can rape a brain dead person.
I would say
You
no.
have
The
no
reason I would say
experience.
no is because it would be a societal harm. But that's a different discussion. So I'll ask you again. Is it wrong to say, for instance, end the life of a brain dead human? I'll ask you that.
I think it depends on what they wanted, because usually people
What?
do have DNRs or a will.
They're
Something
dead.
like that.
They're functionally
Is
dead.
their body? But is
Their body
like-
is alive, but their body doesn't. They don't experience anything. They are functionally dead. Legally, they are dead.
Are they on life support?
Yes, they are. They are entirely relying on life support. They don't actually experience anything. They are brain dead. That's what it means to be brain dead. You don't have any conscious experience.
Okay, so
But their body still responds. Their body still responds to stimuli.
So you do also realize.
So according to your
that
logic, they would
certain
have to be
point-
conscious, right?
What are you making right now?
Do you believe that true things have contradictions? I would hope that your answer is no, they don't. So if it's the case that you believe that despite being able to respond to stimuli, that brain dead humans are not conscious, they don't have conscious experiences, then why do you apply a different standard to fetuses?
Because without medical intervention, the fetus will continue to live. The brain dead person on life support will continue to die.
Okay, without the intervention of the the mother's womb, the fetus wouldn't be able to continue to exist. The mother's womb is equivalent to the life support system in that case. So it's actually very analogous.
But the thing is, you would have to do something.
And what does that have to do with
the
also? What does that have to do with whether or not they're conscious?
Because would you want to end someone's life? Like, what
do you mean by someone?
Someone. I mean, a fetus. Would you want to end?
A fetus? Well, in some cases, yeah. If it's the case that the person who has the fetus in their womb wants to terminate that pregnancy within the first 24 to 26 weeks, yeah, I don't have an issue with that. That's obviously my position.
But if it was less than that, and because we know that they do feel something, because that's the other thing, just because something is legal,
no, they don't feel. No, you said that because they respond to stimuli, that they therefore have conscious experiences. We already established that whether or not something responds to stimuli doesn't ultimately determine whether or not it has conscious experiences. So we can't defer to that standard. So you would have, the onus is on you to demonstrate that the scientific consensus is actually wrong and that it's actually within the first 10 weeks, but you haven't done that.
What I'm saying is that up to a certain point, which I think is far less than the legal limit.
I know you think that,
Is
but
when
you haven't
it's
made an
humane.
argument for it.
I did. No,
No,
You're
you
just
haven't.
choosing to ignore it.
No, you've restated your position multiple times. I have picked apart the few arguments that you have made because they're not very good.
You were arguing with the dude about mosquitoes and comparing that to a fetus and comparing a computer to a fetus.
Yeah, because we were talking about sentience.
Yeah, and okay, we've
Yeah.
established that fetuses
Yeah,
have
so if we're making, so obviously something that people do in debates is they bring up things like comparisons. Do you know what like an analogy is? Do you know what a comparison is? We
yeah, I
use them
understand what that is.
in order to test the logic of what somebody's saying. So if somebody is logically inconsistent, it is therefore a lot easier to point it out.
Okay, but I feel like the comparisons that you made are not analogous. We were
Okay, what's
talking
the
about,
symmetry
they're
breaker?
wildly different.
What is the meaningful symmetry breaker?
The fact that one of or let's say the argument of the computer, because that one was crazy.
Sure.
Computers aren't alive. Computers aren't human.
Yeah, but they recognize faces, like you said, and you said that's
what
a
I
sign
said.
that they're. Well, no, you said
You said that what is having a conscious experience? What is having an experience? An
yeah, and
experience for a
you
fetus.
deferred to the ability to recognize faces. That's what you said, and I said, well, computers can do that. So obviously, that's not the standard we use.
No, but computers aren't alive. Computers aren't human
okay, but
DNA.
The standard you said.
Because we're also
the standard.
we're
There are a
also
lot of things that
talking
are
about
alive
whether-
that aren't sentient, and obviously, the standard of whether or not it can recognize faces isn't a good standard. Because things that we know aren't sentient, such as computers, can recognize faces as well. That doesn't make them sentient.
But they have the capacity to feel.
To feel what?
To feel pressure. To feel pressure changes.
Pressure.
They can hear.
To feel pressure changes. Okay.
Pressure
do they
changes
consciously experience this, or do they just respond
and they move
to
away
it?
from it?
Really, they consciously experience it.
Yeah, they do.
So do mosquitoes have conscious experiences?
They do actually.
They do.
Yeah.
Oh, so they're conscious. They feel things the way that
do
you and I do.
Have brains?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so they feel.
Okay, so it'd be wrong to kill a mosquito then.
No, because that's not my argument either. That's your argument.
Oh, no, it's not wrong. Why is it not wrong?
Because killing a mosquito is not murder. It's not unjust to kill a
Why
mosquito.
not? It's justified. Why is it justified?
Because it's a bug.
And?
Are you a bug?
No, why does it matter if I'm a bug? Am I a black person? No, it's still wrong to kill a black person.
Whoa, that was wild. That was at 11. That was really crazy.
I don't have to be something for it to be wrong. But like, doesn't make any sense. Is it wrong? Is it wrong to kill a gay person if you're not gay? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Why does it matter if I'm a bug or not? That's not what we use to determine whether or not it's right or wrong to kill a mosquito.
I'm talking about whether you're a human or not.
Why is that relevant?
On a higher pedestal than animals are.
Yeah, but why?
Why? So you not value your life?
No, I do, but I'm asking you why.
Asking me why what? Why I put humans on a higher pedestal?
Yeah,
than
why are humans on a higher on the pedestal than other species?
Because we have a capacity to do great things, despite what you might believe.
So,
and I feel,
and why would these
in
things
my
be great?
opinion,
So it's based on the capacity to do great things. So a disabled person that's wheelchair bound and has a 70 IQ
can do great things.
Like what?
Like experience joy, love, and dinner with their family. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, a cat can do that.
Okay, and I don't think it's right to murder cats.
I agree with that. But I'm asking you why specifically humans are higher on the pedestal. There's like a very obvious reason for it.
Okay, so you already know it. Tell me.
Sentience. We're more sentient than other species. It's really obvious.
So what species? Are you saying a cat isn't sentient? A cat can't feel?
No, I'm saying that they're sentient, but they're not as sentient as humans. Sentience is a spectrum.
So what did you just prove there? Because listen, I'm so inept at arguing, and I just don't understand.
I've noticed.
Please explain.
Explain what specifically. What are
Like
you confused about?
explain what you just proved.
What do you mean? Like I'm simply
What
saying
was the
that,
point of
that
saying
whether or
that?
not so that the point that I'm making is that because humans
Mhm.
are sentient, that's why we warrant moral consideration.
Mhm.
Same
Mhm.
thing. Hell, same thing with cats. They're also sentient.
So is a
They
fetus
warrant
not a
moral
human?
consideration. Well, yeah, but it's not sentient, so it doesn't warrant moral consideration.
But it's
So I would
human.
argue that
You
like a
said-
cat
but
fetus
you
also
said
doesn't warrant moral
humans-
consideration.
So you
I
said
would,
humans
yeah, in
are
general,
higher
as a
on the pedestal, right?
generalization,
And-
as a generalization, not all humans are sentient. A brain dead human isn't sentient. It doesn't warrant moral consideration.
But you don't
We've already been
care
over
about
this.
those. Yeah, I know you
Yeah,
don't
you're
care
right.
about dead people.
You're right. I don't care about a brain
Even
dead
if it was
person
your
because they're not
mother
a person.
or you or your family, because you know what? If you
Correct,
were in a
because
hospital
they're
bed,
not
it would be
conscious.
my
Yes, if
job
it was
to take
me or
care
a
of
family
you.
member, yes, I would pull the plug or want
Know
the
what?
plug to be pulled.
Your
Because
choice.
it's a waste of
That's what
resources.
you want. You want. That's not what everybody wants.
Well, you can't want things if you're brain dead.
You could. You could. In
No,
your
you
life.
can't. You're brain dead. You're brain dead. You don't have wants.
Okay, so if your parents were on life
In order to
support
want
and in their
something,
will,
you necessarily have to have some sort of qualitative subjective experience to actually want something.
Okay, and prior to whatever horrible accident that caused coma or the fact that they're in a brain dead
No, a
state.
coma is not the same thing as being brain dead. Stop going to that.
It's not, but it's comparable.
Okay,
It is,
no, it's
believe
not
it or
comparable because somebody in a coma actually has conscious experiences.
And what happens when they decline in a coma?
When they decline in a coma? What do you mean?
You go from
Be
being
more
in a
specific.
comatose state to no brain activity.
To no brain activity. So do they become brain dead? Is that what you're saying?
Hmm?
Are you saying they become brain dead?
Yeah. So what happens?
Well, yeah,
before
once
then?
you're brain dead, yeah, once you're brain dead, you don't have the capacity to experience anything.
Okay,
So,
but if I
yeah,
had
they
a
wouldn't warrant any
will
moral
that said
consideration.
if I had a will that said I don't want someone to pull the plug on me in that situation, because people have come back.
No, nobody has ever come back from being brain dead. I don't know what you're talking about. Can you find a single instance where somebody has been legitimately brain dead and come back from it and not being brain dead anymore? Find me one instance where a brain dead human who was completely brain dead came back from being brain dead and was no longer brain dead. If you can't, I'm just going to move on to the next caller.
I'm looking, but you can move on because I have class in the morning.
Okay.
And it's already
So that answers my question. No, there's not a single instance, and it's disingenuous to claim otherwise. Have a nice day. Okay. Who do we do next? We'll do Wolf Winter. Yeah. Wolf Winter, you're on the air. Hello.
Hey,
Hello. How are
how
you?
you doing?
I'm doing all right.
That's good. Just so you know, I'm not here to debate you. I absolutely love what you're doing. I'm just here to say I support whatever you say.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm the Winter Wolf person who sends you money every now and
Hell
then.
yeah. Very much appreciated. Thank you very much.
Don't mention it. Don't mention it. You take care now.
All right. Have a good one. Thank you.
Of course.
All right. Move this person. Hello, Ray. You're on the air. Hello, Ray.
Hi.
You're
Oh,
on the
sorry.
air. Yeah,
Hey.
you're on the air.
Hey. So I just a little bit of recap to get a little bit of space there. So what all have you like discussed here? So if we get a little breather between the other people, if I may.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Do you want me to give you like a recap or?
Yeah, just like I think I kind of was listening to the last lady. Got that there. That's cool. I think fair points. Both sides. Good. It's cool. It's good. Just my thought, and I guess at this moment in my life, I am personally for abortion. I guess
Okay.
if I were to have one, but I suppose I could see where that could change in my life, where I could go. If I find a lady and I want to have a child with her, and it comes across at a point where I go, even if there's difficulties with this, And I don't know.
Well,
I suppose
yeah,
that my
well, and that would
question is
be,
like,
yeah, that would be a decision for you and your partner to make, right? Or
right.
something to talk about. Ultimately, it would be your partner's decision, right? They'd be the one getting pregnant.
Well, for sure,
And
yeah.
um, but I would just say to that, like part of pro-choice is being able to choose to keep the fetus, right? To keep the pregnancy. So
All right, right.
it doesn't seem like we really disagree.
No, okay, no, yeah. No, I don't particularly see that neither, but just curious to see your perspective. And I suppose, I don't know if I may impose a question in the if I were to take the devil's advocate side, how do you feel about couples who that's their, well, shit, never mind. Sorry, thinking myself in a circle there. Gonna say, well, how do you feel about their choice to not make that choice, I suppose?
Yeah,
If,
I'm totally cool with that. They can make whatever
right,
choices they want.
so obviously, I'm just supposedly hitting the nail on the head there for the obvious conclusion there. Obviously, all right.
Yeah,
Sorry. All right. Well,
no worries.
interesting. I suppose if I may just share my opinion about it is, hey, listen, personally, as a guy, I'm half responsible for something here, and in the sense that I have made the choice to get in that sort of contract, and I
Well,
don't have to deal with the
what do you
consequence of it.
choose?
Well,
Because
you choose to make the choice to do the deed. Try to keep it PG
to
for
have
you.
sex. Yeah, but
Yeah,
you're
okay.
not okay. But by consenting to having sex, you're not consenting to all possible outcomes of sex. Would you agree with that?
Well, hey, I was taught. Now, maybe you're wrong. This is my opinion. It's about you have sex. You should know that it is if there is PIV sex, good likelihood if both people are fertile, it's
Well,
even if
yeah,
they don't
you should
ejaculate,
take
they can
preventative
still have
measures,
that.
obviously. Well, yeah,
Right.
you should
So,
obviously take preventive measures, like things like birth control and whatnot, things like
right.
condoms, etc. Right? So, I
Yeah.
obviously you would want to like mitigate that. But if it's the case that you get pregnant, right, you're not really consenting to that, right? So for the same reason that by, um, you know, driving to work, let's say, every time you get in the car and you turn it on, you're consenting to driving. You're not consenting to all possible outcomes of driving. A possible outcome is going to be,
Right.
say for instance, a drunk guy fucking T-bones you out of nowhere, right? That's a possible outcome, but you're not consenting to that, right? So the same line of
Well,
logic would apply here.
I suppose I don't consent to it, but if you look, actually, funny enough, if you look at my profile picture, that was taken the day that I did get T-boned by somebody who pulled out in front of me. So while I
Yeah,
didn't, interesting enough, while I didn't consent to it, sometimes life still happens too. Life
correct.
happens
It
to
still
you.
happens, right? But like
Life still
there should
happens to you.
be right. But like again, so you obviously didn't consent to it. So similarly, somebody that gets pregnant wouldn't be consenting to it necessarily,
Yeah,
right?
I suppose,
Sometimes they
but
might be.
at a certain point too. I don't know. Just posing some interesting thoughts on that, but
All
and
right.
I don't know who's to say that the lady may not consent to wanting to have the abortion, even though the man might want it. That I don't know. Yeah. Anyways,
All
maybe
right.
I'll go
Have
a
a
little
good
bit in
one.
the weeds on that stuff. Yeah. Take care. Have a good
All
night.
right. You too.
Best
Thank
of
you.
luck. Best of luck. Please take care.
Thank you. Have a good
Yeah.
night.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to get off there. Yep. Take care. You sign me off here. Sorry.
Yeah. No worries. All right. I need to go to the bathroom. I'm going to be right back. I really need to pee and then I will do more. A little bit more, okay? Don't leave, chat. Don't leave me. I'll be back with the milk and cigarettes any minute now. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. All right. We're back. Please tell me y'all didn't leave. All right, y'all are still here. Good stuff. Okay, before we continue, I want to read some of the donos. Thank you, 3DRC for the 2 saying, were you born a man? Well, no, you don't pop out of the pussy, you know, with like a beard and a suit and a tie. So no. Thank you, Hammer of Democracy saying, with the 2 saying, hey, darling, it's me, Winterwolf. I'm back. Welcome back. Good to see you again. Hello, that bassist. The 2 saying, just had my first abortions. Oh, sorry, just had my first abortions, quote unquote, made that possible. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Thank you, Kai Gibbons, for the £2 saying, how can you compare human life to mosquitoes? So the comparison that I was making was sentience, right? So I'm not saying that on average humans are the same as mosquitoes. What I am saying is that a human fetus has the same level of sentience within the first 24 to 26 weeks as a mosquito. And thank you, Megan, for the 2 saying W host. Well, thank you. Very much appreciated. With that being said, we're going to now move on to the next person. Hello, Oz. You're on the air. What do you want to debate on? I assume abortion. Assume that's why you're here.
Yeah. Yeah, am I coming through all right?
Yes.
Okay. I just had what is like your definition for like either like a moral right or moral wrong, just so we can
I guess if it helps, I'm a utilitarian. So a moral wrong would be something that causes more harm than good. A moral right is something that causes more good than harm. Something that's morally neutral would neither cause more harm nor more good. And that's in terms of what we predict to be the case, so it might not always pan out that way, right? So we base it off of predicted utility. Does that make sense?
yeah, I would say so.
Hello? Oz, you there? Oz? Just cut out. Thank you, the bassist, for the 2 saying healthcare during past complications. I'm still not sure. Yeah, but I guess he vanished. He's not muted. I don't know where he went. Like if you see here, like he's not muted. He's very much I don't know what to if he doesn't come back, I'm gonna just move on to the next caller. Yeah, not my fucking call-in service saying unusual activity detected. Yeah, probably because I'm streaming. Duh. Skip. Yeah, I think I'm gonna skip this guy. I'm sorry, Mr. Oz. You're probably a nice person and all, but we're gonna move on to the next person. Also, thank you, Luke Forgotten, for the $20. You beautiful fucking bastard saying, how's two Skirt Go Spinnies? Also, long time no see. Good to see you again. Hope you're doing well. Finally, could you help me get into member-only server after the stream is over? Oh shit, I need to make a member-only server. I forgot to do that. I don't even know how to set it up. That was the main issue. I just don't know how to set it up. But yeah, I need to make a members-only server for members. But yeah. I'll give two Skirt Go Spinnies. You could have requested 4, to be honest. But you requested 2, so. Anyways, this is I'm actually not wearing a skirt, to be fair, but this is the fit today. Hope you like it. Okay. What was that sound? What was that? The fuck was that noise? Oh, they disappeared. Okay. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move. Hello? Why is it like... Why is my thing not working? Hello? Why is my... Shit. Is my Discord broken? Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Hello.
Mighty Bison, you're on the air.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great, perfect. Tech issues are always fun.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell that was.
Oh, I think I'm getting an echo. Shoot.
You probably have my stream open.
Oh,
You
yeah.
want to turn that off.
Let me turn that off. Yeah, let me do that
Yeah.
really quick.
Yep.
Okay. All right, let's see if that's any better. Okay.
It should be.
Okay, sweet. Cool. So I guess to kind of lay out my stance, just so we know like where we each stand. I am against abortion.
Okay.
And so yeah, I guess I'm just curious to hear your standpoint or your views. And I've watched, I think, the past 3 to 4-ish, maybe, callers.
Okay.
And something that I have heard you say a couple times, or frequently, is just that like sentience is kind of like your. Would you say that sentience is your like primary reason
Yeah.
for taking the stance that you take? Okay. So why is sentience the most important thing to you? Like, why not something else? Why is sentience the number one thing?
I would just say because without sentience, without the capacity to experience qualitative subjective experience, right? Without that, there wouldn't be any meaning to anything, right? There would be no purpose, right?
Mhm.
Like you would just be like a pea zombie. You would just be like a well, you may as well just be a zombie at that point. Not even just a pea zombie. You're just like literally just like a zombie, right?
Sure.
You just do things automatically.
Sure. Yeah, I kind of get where you're coming from. So then would you say that as we get older and mature and go through different stages of development and we acquire new experiences and memories and, all that kind of thing, do you think that we get, as human beings, that we gain more value as we climb up in age? Like at 30, you have way more experience and memories than a 5-year-old. Like, do you think that they have more value as you get older and acquire more experiences and more memories,
I'd
etc.?
say that a 30-year-old on average has a lot more societal value than a 5-year-old, yeah. But I
Well,
wouldn't say
societal
that
value,
I
sure.
wouldn't say that they weren't moral consideration, right? Because the 5-year-old is just going to be like about as sentient, right?
Right.
And it's also and it's also going to be the case that let's say it's the case that you treat the 5-year-old poorly, right? That's also going to affect them for the rest of their life potentially, right? Eventually they're going to be 30, unless they die, right?
Mhm.
And so like the predicted utility of that would be negative, right? So you wouldn't want to treat them bad, right?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I guess, like, to me, you mentioned, like, what did you say, societal value? Like, I don't really, to me, and I don't mean to discount, like, what you're saying, but to me, like, that has no relevance to me whatsoever. I don't
I would
think that,
generally agree. I would generally
yeah,
agree
like,
with that.
someone's ability to contribute to society means nothing to me. So do you think that human beings have inherent value, or, like, would you agree with that kind of, like, that
No,
term, I guess?
I don't
No?
believe that human beings have intrinsic value on the basis
Hmm.
of being human beings. I'd say that like the only reason that human beings are valuable is because we're sentient and have conscious experiences.
Hmm. Okay, that's interesting.
Without that, we'd all just be computers, right? So like for the same reasons that I don't grant any moral consideration to a computer or an AI, even if that AI is fucking smarter than me, right? ChatGPT seems to know a lot more stuff than me, right? I don't think that ChatGPT warrants more moral consideration than me, right? I think it doesn't warrant any moral consideration because it's a fucking bot, right? It doesn't feel anything.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, like, what do you think about when people, like when a pregnant mother gets killed in a car accident because of a drunk driver or whatever the case may be, and we call it a double homicide, right? We don't call it just a homicide; we call it a double homicide. What would you say to that? Do you think that's just like? Do you think
I think
people
it's a
who
little
like
bit silly. I think it should depend on like how far in the pregnancy is it. because I do think it's like a little bit silly, but that would just be like, oh yeah, that law is kind of silly. I don't really care that much about it because it's like whatever. It's like, yeah, they you know, they did in fact kill the pregnant woman, and that's bad. So yeah, they should probably, you know, face some sort of repercussion for that. But not on the basis of like, oh well, she's pregnant, so it's like so much worse. It's like it's not gonna be like, yeah, sure, it'll be worse in the sense that like let's say that like it's within the first 26 weeks of the pregnancy, right?
Mhm.
It might be worse in the sense that it might like have like a greater negative impact on, say, for instance, her husband, who was like really excited to have a kid or some shit like that. But I wouldn't say that in of itself it would be worse. It would still be very bad though, right? But no, it wouldn't
Yeah,
be.
like so okay, so you just you don't regard the fetus's life as having any value.
Not within the first 26 weeks, no.
Okay, so like, do you think that there's some like kind of a magical moment that happens between 26 and 27 weeks where more sentience is detectable, and so there's like a magical moment where you cross that threshold from no
The threshold
value
wouldn't
and
be when
no.
they're yeah, there's gonna be a point where it goes from no value to like a tiny bit of value, and then it might have like a tiny bit more value, and then eventually it becomes valuable, right? Does that make
So
sense?
okay, I get what you're saying, but I mean, like, I think what you just said that I'm stuck on now is you're going from tiny bit of value to progressively more valuable, and then it become
Yeah.
valuable. Like that definition to me makes no sense because
How
right,
does that not make
something is either
sense?
because something is either valuable or it's not.
Well,
Right? Like it
yeah.
doesn't matter.
Well, yeah.
Like quality, like
Once it
qualitative doesn't
becomes
matter.
sentient, yeah, sure, it'd be valuable to an extent, right? But like we also need to take into account like to what extent is it valuable once it is? Because I would argue that like within the first 26 weeks, the only value that a fetus would ever have is instrumental value. It's not valuable in of itself. It's only valuable as a means to an end. So, for instance, if it's the case that say the pregnant woman wants to have a kid, right? Then it's gonna be valuable in that context because of what it could lead to. But that fetus in of itself wouldn't warrant moral consideration. It doesn't have any terminal value. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, I don't agree, but I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
So the what you said just now of like it being a means to an end, can you expand on that a little bit more?
Yeah, so for instance, if it's the case that the outcome that's desired by, sentient, conscious human beings is, I want to have kids. That's what they want. That's what they desire,
Mm.
right? Then it's generally going to be the case that having kids when they want to have kids and feel ready and are able to do so, right? That's going to be a net positive, right? That's what they want. They have the ability to raise them, right?
The fetus is the means to an end is the means to accomplish the end of the parents having the desire to have kids.
Yeah, it would be a means to an end of them being able to have a kid in the future.
Okay.
And eventually, right? Eventually that the fetus would develop into a moral agent in of itself.
Right. And you would draw that same line of them becoming a moral agent at 26 or at the latter end of the 26 weeks. Is that correct?
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, around that time.
Okay.
And again, like when it's going to be, because you have to keep in mind that these estimates are going to be based on like, okay, like this is like when we like know for certain they're not sentient. They might still not be sentient after like 27 weeks. I mean, there are some, I mean, there's some evidence to suggest that within the first 35 weeks, they're not sentient, right? But there's like a little bit of ambiguity, right?
So doesn't that ambiguity by itself mean that your argument is not, it doesn't hold much weight? It doesn't hold a lot of water
No.
because there's ambiguity in it.
No, my argument
So
doesn't
you
hold
think that your
ambiguity,
argument
right?
should.
Because it's not ambiguous within the first 24 to 26 weeks.
Oh, I see. Because you're drawing the line backwards so that there's less.
Yeah, I'm drawing the.
ambiguity.
I'm actually giving a conservative estimate when I say that. Yeah.
Okay. No, I understand what you're saying now. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I understand that. I guess to me, I think I just don't understand. Well, I shouldn't say that. I do understand what you're saying. I don't agree with what you're saying because, for me, the basis of why human life is valuable again, has nothing to do with what they can contribute to society. It really has nothing to do with sentience, right? Because it's like, okay, let's say, I mean, we all go to sleep at night, you know, are we suddenly
we
invaluable
still
because we
have
go to sleep?
qualitative subjective experiences when we're asleep, even if we don't
So it's
realize
both.
it.
So it's not just sentience, it's also having experiences and memories.
Yeah, it's about having experiences. Yeah, it's about being able to experience qualia, right?
Being able to
Like having
experience
some sort
what?
of qualitative subjective experience is what's relevant.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
guess I don't see. I understand your argument, your point. I just don't see why somebody having, and I know you kind of said, like, you at the beginning you said, well, if we don't have experiences or we don't have sentience, we're just like zombies. Like, okay, sure, but like I don't think that experiences and sentience is like the epitome of life. I think that human beings, like you said, you don't agree with the concept of inherent intrinsic value of human beings. That's fine. I acknowledge
Yeah,
that, but
I don't
do.
believe that being human automatically in of itself grants value. That just seems like an arbitrary distinction to make.
Interesting. Why? So why is it arbitrary?
Because it just seems like I guess to clarify, what's a good way of putting this? I guess it just seems arbitrary because whether or not something is human doesn't really have bearing entirely. Like, for instance, if we take like a brain dead human, right? Like, that's a human, right? Would you say that warrants moral consideration? I mean, it's human, it's alive.
Right. A person who's been declared brain dead.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say that, I'll be honest with you, I've gone back and forth on the, like, pulling the plug and, like, even stuff like assisted suicide. I've worked in healthcare. I was a CNA for a couple of years. I'm actually starting nursing school in the next fall. And so I've been on both sides of it, of like, well, it's wrong, or no, it's not wrong. And I think where I would stand now is, in the case of someone who's been declared brain dead, if they have what do they call it? Someone who is kind of I wish I could remember the term now, but basically a family member, usually a parent, who has, or a spouse who is like taking over their decisions for them. I wish I could remember the name of that, but I think if they've written down that if they become brain dead, that they want to have the plug pulled on them, then I think that that's okay, but not because the person doesn't have value. That's not why it's okay. It's okay because they have made the decision, not their parent, not their sibling or whoever. They made the decision before they got to that status of brain dead, of saying,
I just don't see what the value in keeping a branded human alive would be. Like, it just seems like a waste of resources, does it not?
Do you think that it's a waste of resources to like take care of people who are poor and don't have like this don't really have much
because they're
likelihood
sentient. The difference is that they're sentient and they have the difference is that they're sentient and have conscious experiences.
Yeah, but like, again,
yeah, so that's why it'd be wrong to like not give a fuck about them. Whereas if we're talking about like a brain dead human, right? It's not wrong to not give a fuck about that because, well, they're not sentient, right?
Yeah, again, I understand your argument. I just don't like. I think that sentience, it's not that it's invaluable. It's not that it's unimportant. It is important. It's just not, to me, what I would deem the
ultimate deciding factor.
Yeah, it's not the ultimate deciding factor. It's not what gives value.
What is your ultimate deciding factor and why?
Yeah, so I would say that, again, I believe in intrinsic inherent value for human beings. I don't equate them to animals. Like, I don't, I've heard kind of a debate between mosquitoes and stuff.
Yeah, what's your justification for this?
For not equating them to animals?
No, for humans having intrinsic value on the basis of being human.
Okay, yeah. The reason that I believe that, and to preface, I understand that you don't, from hearing you say this, I understand that you don't believe in God, and that's okay. I'm not here to like try to convince you to follow God. But
Okay.
to answer that question, like the Bible says that we are created in the image of God, and that doesn't just apply to people who believe in Him. Like this goes for all human beings, whether they believe in God or not. They're all His image bearers, and for that reason, I believe that God He's put value in us because He made us, because He has plans for us, because He we're not just made arbitrarily. Like that's one of the things that I see in like the evolution argument of like, well,
why did God create Hitler?
Why did God create Hitler?
Yeah.
Well, I think that each person's purpose, like overarching purpose, is to worship God and to bring glory to Him. Obviously,
Yeah,
Hitler
did
didn't
Hitler
do that. No,
Yeah,
I just said he didn't
he
do
did
that.
like one of the worst things ever. Like you would agree that like because your God is all powerful, all knowing, and all good, that they could have just not created Hitler, right? In order to benefit everybody else.
Well,
Like, that
so
was
this
like an
isn't
option,
this
right?
is well. So what we're kind of getting into is free will versus not free will. We
No,
all
we're getting
have
into the
free
problem
will.
of evil.
Well, yeah, but free will has a lot to do with that. Free will is very tied into evil. Like
Okay.
like Hitler did what he did because he had free will. People who claim that
Yeah, but it
like
could be the
God
case. Yeah,
pulls
but
on
it
the
could be the
strings
case that
and make people do what they do, it shows a lack of understanding of the Bible. That's all it shows.
yeah, but God could have just made Hitler's brain different, so they didn't have the capacity to do what he did. That was like an option.
Do you think that you have the capacity to do something as evil as Hitler?
No,
Why not?
because it would be very difficult to amass that amount of political power.
Okay. Okay, I'm not talking about
The
like,
amount of political
I'm
power
talking about
required to like exterminate an entire group of people. Yeah, that's a lot. Most people
Okay.
can't do that.
Okay, we're talking about capacity versus capability, like in terms of like being in power enough to do something like that. So like I understand that you're saying that I
Like,
agree.
what if
like, you're
God just
probably
made
not gonna
Hitler
have-
disabled? Like, why couldn't God just like make it so that like Hitler had Down syndrome or some shit like that, so that he wasn't able to do anything bad? If that was like an option, like you would agree that like somebody having Down syndrome doesn't negate their free will, correct?
Yeah, of course, people with Down
Yeah.
syndrome
So
have
like,
free will.
why didn't God just make it so that Hitler is born with Down syndrome? Because then he wouldn't be able to exterminate the Jews.
I think it comes back to the fact that God created Hitler with an intent for his life, and Hitler followed the opposite path.
Well,
Followed
obviously that's not
Hitler
true
did
because
something that-
God knew what Hitler was going to do because he's all knowing, right? So he already knew what Hitler was going to do before he created Hitler.
So that's interesting. I actually believe different Christians have different denominations of Christianity have different beliefs on God's omniscience and omnipotence and stuff like that. I actually don't hold the stance that God knows everything that we're going to
Okay.
do, because that kind of contradicts the idea of free will in general. And so I believe that he's all powerful, but he doesn't know everything that we're going to do, because he gives us free will. He has an intent for our life, but like people, we still have the ability to follow his will, to do what he wants us to do, or we can disobey him and do things like what Hitler did, right? So when people make this argument of like, well,
yeah,
God can just God is pulling all the strings, it just shows that that person doesn't have an understanding of Scripture. That's all that
if
shows.
he's all powerful, then he would necessarily be pulling all those strings to an extent, right? Like,
No,
if you're
that's
all
not what that
powerful, then
means.
it necessarily indicates that you have the capacity to know all, correct?
Okay, omnipotence is saying you have the capacity. You can defeat, you can raise people from the dead. Of course, I'm sure you don't believe that, which is fine again. But like,
Right.
for me, my stance is like I believe that he rose Jesus from the grave. Like that's an example of being omnipotent, is he has the
Yeah.
power to do those sorts of things. But omnipotence and omniscience are two different words. Does that make sense?
Correct.
they
I
don't
know
mean the
that,
same
but
thing.
what I'm saying, I'm not confusing them. What I'm saying is that if he's all powerful, then that would include the power to know all, because that is like a power, right? Otherwise, he's not all powerful. You could say, oh, well, he's mostly powerful, and that's fine. That wouldn't be a contradiction. But I would just be careful with the
I think honestly, like I think if you were to mix the two, I think you would be getting two different definitions mixed up. I understand what you're saying. I understand that
I'm
you're
not
saying that
mixing the
if you're in
two. I'm saying that one necessarily leads to one of them necessarily leads to the other. Not the other way around, obviously. Like, obviously, being all knowing doesn't mean you're all powerful. But if you're all powerful, you have at least the capacity to be all knowing. Because being all powerful necessarily indicates that you have the power to do anything, including knowing anything, right? Like, if I'm all powerful, I'm going to give myself the power to know all.
Yeah,
because I can do anything I want, including that, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. I think I would have to think about that more for the sake of moving, of not getting stuck in this one point of the argument. I think we can, like, sure, for the sake of argumentation, I'll say that he doesn't have the ability to know all.
Okay.
And so we can
he's
move
also
on.
not
We
all
can,
powerful either, then, correct?
well, here's what I'll say. He has the power to raise Jesus from the grave, which is the most. Again, I know you don't believe that. That's fine.
Right.
But in my opinion, that's the most important thing that's ever happened. Nothing
Sure.
in human history that's ever happened is more important than that. And
Sure.
so, because he has the power to do that, like, even if you were to come up with some other arbitrary hypothetical scenario of like, well, God can't do this super crazy, like, I'm like, my response is I don't give a crap. I don't care, because he literally
Sure.
raised Jesus from the dead.
But you could say that he's
So
powerful, but you wouldn't say he's all powerful then, right? There's like a distinction. I wouldn't disagree with you saying he's powerful in that case, right? It's like, oh, that's a lot of power you got there. Raising an entire dude from the dead. That's a lot of, most people can't do that. That's very powerful. But that wouldn't be the same thing as all powerful. I know that seems a little bit nitpicky, but I do think it's worth distinguishing, because there are people that believe that, like, he's legitimately all powerful. Like, he is able to do literally anything because he's God, right?
yeah, I guess, I think the most, like, to answer your question in the most accurate and probably the most productive way, I would say, again, I don't think God has the ability to know everything, but he has the power to do, like, whatever other hypothetical situation you can come up with. Like, does God have the power to, cause the ocean to become completely dry, or does he have the power to, again, raise people from the dead, or just,
Right.
like, miraculously heal cancer? I think the answer would be yes to all those things. And so
Okay.
if we're looking for, like, one example of God not being able to do something, I would say to know everything. If to
Okay,
you that
sure.
means that you want to say that he's not all powerful, then, like, I'm not gonna,
Sure.
die on that
You
hill.
brought up the fact that you think that God has the ability to cure cancer, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, why doesn't he cure cancer and all of the innocent Christian kids that have cancer but did nothing wrong?
Well, first, I wanted to clarify that God does not view Christians as having more value than
Okay.
non-Christians. Let's just make that clarification.
Why doesn't he just cure all children that have cancer from their cancer? They didn't do anything wrong, they didn't do anything to deserve having cancer, etc. Why doesn't he cure them? He has the ability to.
Yeah.
It'd be a good thing if their cancer was cured, and he's all good, so why doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He does have the ability to. The reason that he doesn't, and to clarify, like, I don't know, I'm not God, obviously, like, I'm extremely flawed. So I can't speak for him to a degree of, like, I'm his personal representative above everyone else. Like, that's just to clarify. But my understanding is of the reason why he doesn't just come down and, snap his fingers, all cancer in all forms gone, is because cancer is, and again, I'm sure I'm just going to sound like a crazy person, because we have a difference in religious beliefs, and that's okay. But what the Bible teaches us is that cancer and suffering and all kinds of disease and pain and all that kind of thing is a result of the fall. The fall referring to the instance where God gave Adam and Eve a command, and he said, you can eat of any tree in the garden except for the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And when they did that, that is when sin entered the world, and the world was changed, and the world was not just
so like
changed for
again,
Adam
like
and Eve.
why should innocent children have to suffer from cancer as a result of this?
Yeah,
It's the case
yeah, I'm
that
getting
God
there.
could just make it not like that, right? So we know you agree that God can make it not like that. He has the ability to, right?
Correct.
It's obviously not the fault of the children with cancer that like a long, really long time ago, like some random person that they've never met before, that they've never interacted with a single time, did a bad thing, therefore they have to experience cancer. That seems a bit ridiculous, especially considering the fact that you and I both agree that according to Christianity that God would be able to cure cancer. So why doesn't he do that? Right? It doesn't infringe upon their free will, right? And in terms of the consequences of original sin, wouldn't it be God that determines that? Why should children that haven't done anything wrong suffer the consequences of cancer? He could just make them not have cancer. Why should some humans have to inherently suffer more than others? Why should some of them just randomly have cancer? Why is it the case that I don't get cancer, but some random child elsewhere does?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I brought up the fall and everything because if I don't, then my answer isn't going to make a lot of sense. And you might still conclude at the end that it doesn't make any sense anyway. But
yeah,
to start, at least, if I don't start with what I was starting with, then it's not going to make sense to either one of us or anybody listening.
Okay.
So
continue.
Is that okay? So yeah, okay. So going back to the fall. So we have Adam and Eve, they sin and sin enters the world. Sin does not just, in that moment, it doesn't just affect Adam and Eve. It affects everybody else coming after that because it affects the world, right? So it and to kind of put emphasis on that
I
point.
get that, but like why can't God just make it not that way? Like why can't he just make it so that it doesn't negatively affect innocent people?
Because what happened when they sinned and sin into the world, it affected every person, past, present, and future. Well, at that point, just present and future. And so every person who would be born after that has an inherent proclivity to sin. Not all in the same ways, but everyone
but God
born
could just
after
make it
that
not
has
like that. God could just make it not like that, right?
But then he wouldn't be a just God then.
How would that be unjust? So you're saying that it's more just for him to give children cancer than for him to not give children cancer? Make it make sense.
No, so well, I'm trying to explain. So the reason that it would be unjust is because God declared at the beginning, before Adam and Eve sinned, that if you do this, like if you disobey me, you'll be cast out of the garden, and then he lists a bunch of other things that'll happen. And so basically God is setting this boundary, right? Like if you want to have a relationship with me and you want to not have these bad consequences happen, here's what you have to do. And they understood
but he could have chose different
and they said, I don't care. But
he could have chose different consequences, and he already knew he or I guess you wouldn't believe that he already knew what they were gonna do. But at the end of the day, like he could have just chosen different consequences, right? Why should random children having cancer be the consequence of what? Oh, some guy ate a fucking apple like thousands of years ago. That seems a bit ridiculous.
No, but okay, there's a misunderstanding here. People who have cancer now, they are not being punished for Adam's sin. What happened was that sin entered the world and entered everyone, even from infancy. Like we have a natural proclivity to do things that are against God's will and against what God has called us to do, right? And so
that just seems like something that's not our fault.
So it's
like,
not
why
our fault.
Why did he give us that proclivity? If he doesn't want us to sin, then can't he just remove the proclivity to sin?
That's like saying if you don't want someone to have consequences, why don't you just not punish them? It doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah. If you don't want them to have consequences, yeah, you could do that. If you're God,
but then,
that is a thing you could do.
It is a thing you could do, but it would basically mean that he's not just. And again,
no,
what I
it wouldn't mean that.
No,
it wouldn't necessarily mean that. That's not what that means.
Okay, well, you'll never know what I mean if you keep interrupting, respectfully.
But the consequences of children having cancer is not a reasonable consequence, and this is very different from the abortion debate anyway. But it just seems like your worldview is based on a very, illogical. Let's be real. Well,
religion. We're not being real with that. Well, you might think that, and that's okay. Like, I didn't come on here to try to convince you to be a Christian. That's, that's fine if you believe that I'm crazy and I'm illogical and stupid, whatever you want to say. That doesn't bother me. But like, we have two very different worldviews, and in the same way that you think that I'm crazy for believing in all this, like, I think it's much more illogical to say that abortion is morally acceptable when we know that that life starts at conception. Like, that's not debatable.
Well,
that's
whether or not something is life doesn't determine whether or not it warrants moral consideration. Like, semen is also a form of life. Like, it.
But it's not. But
so is bacteria. Like, what's your fucking point? Semen is literally human life.
It's not independent human life from their parents. It's not.
Well,
unique
no.
DNA.
If the semen's on the floor, then it is independent. Like, it's not the same. So you're just like wrong about that.
Okay. Do you
the semen on the floor of the gooner? Okay, let's say there's a gooner in the goon cave, and then they come all over the floor. That semen is not a part of them anymore. That's like its own thing.
Is it a new human being?
It doesn't have to be. It's its own human life.
Okay, do you understand how fertilization
again, you haven't
happens?
established why being a human being is necessarily the determining factor. And again, you've pointed to your religion, which you cannot prove the correctness of.
Okay, so
if the only argument you have is religion, then you would at least agree that abortion should be legal, right? Because of the separation of church and state.
What does the separation of church and state have to do with it?
Well, if it's the case that you believe that it should be illegal and you think it should be illegal because it's wrong, and your only reason for why it's wrong is your religious worldview, then by having it be illegal because of your religious worldview, well, that's basically just having, a state-mandated religious view. It is a religious view that is enforced upon the population, including people that don't believe in that shit, right? So there would be a lack of separation.
Sure. Okay, I understand what you're saying. So I think that, but you asked what my basis for believing what I believe was, and I gave you my answer, and that's my answer. But
do you believe that abortion should be legal?
No.
Why? If your only basis is a religious worldview,
okay,
why do you want the government to mandate your religious worldview?
Okay, really quick, if you want an answer from me, this is how debates work. If you want an answer from someone,
I want you to get to the point.
To let them talk.
I want you to get to the point.
Okay, but I can't get to a point if you keep interrupting. That's how that works.
Well, if you keep saying irrelevant shit that doesn't matter, or I already know what you're gonna say, then I try to keep these as efficient as possible.
Are you omniscient?
So again,
do you know what everyone's gonna say?
If it's the case that your only reason for the thing you believe is your religion, why should your religious view be enforced by the government? It is your religious view. It is your religious view. If your only reason for believing it's wrong is your religion, if that's the only basis that you believe it's wrong, then yes, it is a religious view. It's not. Okay, can you give me your secular basis then?
Can you stop interrupting?
Can you give me your secular basis for the argument then?
Sure, yeah. So, like I said, that's my main basis, but my non-religious reason for taking the stance that I do is that human beings have, we as a society, as the human race, we just know not to, we know that we can kind of just agree that we have more value than an animal, right? Like, it doesn't take a lot of inductive reasoning to figure out that animals are more
because we're more sentient than they are.
That's not the only reason that we're more valuable.
Why? Why are we more valuable?
Because human beings are able to, we're able to have relationships. We're able to.
Animals have relationships with each other all the time. What do you mean?
Can
They're
animals
just not as
love?
Complex. They're less complex.
Can they love?
Sure.
Can they love each other? Can they love each other?
I think so. I think my cat loves me. I love my cat.
Or is it just because your cat knows that you're going to feed him or her, and so your cat shows positive?
No, she loves me. She's very sweet, and I love her.
Well, she might have a sweet temperament. and I'm sure you love
No,
her.
she's
But
sweet.
just because you,
When
I didn't
when
say
I
I
pet
just
her
said she
and she's
was.
purring, that means she's happy.
Yeah, she's
But
happy,
it's
but
just
doesn't
like
mean she
common
loves you.
sense.
Like you're just wrong about that.
Yes.
That's not how that works.
Right.
But anyway, that's not the point. We're getting on another rabbit hole there. So getting back to the main point, um, like we have the ability to love and have relationships with other people. We know right from wrong. Animals do not know right from
Really?
wrong. They just don't.
Okay, wait, humans know right from wrong, but humans have different moral frameworks. Humans believe different things and have different standards of right and wrong. So being a human doesn't determine whether or not you know right and wrong. As for knowing right and wrong, like all of the things you described, like knowing right and wrong, having the capacity to love, these are things that wouldn't apply to a fetus anyway. So your argument doesn't even make any sense.
What do you mean it doesn't make any sense?
It doesn't make any sense because the argument that you just made is that humans are more valuable on this basis. Well, the basis that you provided would not apply to a fetus. So, for instance, the capacity to love, a fetus doesn't have that because it doesn't have any conscious experience. It can't experience things like love. If we're talking about the ability to have relationships, fetuses can't have relationships. That's not a thing. That doesn't exist. So, everything that you've listed thus far is not something that could be applied.
It has unique DNA. That's the other one. That's another basis for why I think human beings have
Why is
innate
unique
intrinsic
DNA
value.
relevant? Why is that valuable?
My goodness, because human beings. Okay, that's where it starts, and then everything else that I just listed about the whole like love and relationship stuff, that comes later. But
So why does where it starts matter? Like why is that relevant? Why does it matter if it has unique DNA? What if it was a clone? Would it suddenly not be relevant? Like would it not be worthwhile?
Like alive or not? You have to draw a line where someone is alive or not. You have to.
Okay, if a clone that has the exact same DNA, if a clone that has the exact same DNA as another person, it exists, do they not warrant as much moral consideration because they're a clone and they don't have unique DNA?
So just to clarify, you're not talking about twins. You're talking about like
I'm talking about clones
in a lab.
Identical twins technically do have different DNA. It's just very slightly different.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm talking about a clone that has the exact same DNA. Are they worth less moral consideration? I know we don't. So engage with the hypothetical. Do you know what a hypothetical is?
Yeah, I do. I've given several this conversation.
Right. So engage with the hypothetical I just presented to you.
I think that if you're making a clone of a human being in a lab, first of all, I don't understand how you would even do that, but I don't think that
right. It's a hypothetical.
Yeah, I think it's a silly hypothetical, to be honest.
That's great, but the point is to test your logic. So if it's the case that there is a clone that has the exact same DNA as another person, do you believe that they warrant less moral consideration on the basis of not having unique DNA? It's like a yes or no question.
I think if you make a clone in a lab.
No, like a yes, like in the yes sense, or like a no in the no sense. That's how you respond to a yes or no question. You can clarify why you think that after saying yes or no, but I'd like to hear a yes or no.
Yeah, I don't think that they would. I don't think that they would have a right to life because it's not a distinct human being. Because it has the same DNA.
That just seems a bit silly, and so
why?
So once they're already sentient. So once they're sentient, they don't have a right to life.
No, that proves why sentience really is not that relevant. It's not unimportant, but it's not the most.
So wait. So wait. Let's say this clone is like 20 years old now, okay? But it still doesn't have unique DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it the case? So do you believe that it would be okay to just kill that person?
No.
Why not? It doesn't have a right to life. It doesn't have unique DNA, therefore it doesn't have a right to life.
Why would you kill them? What's your reason?
Because they don't have a right to life and I feel like it. It makes me happy to kill them.
Okay, well that just sounds psychotic to me.
Uh-huh. But that's the only person I ever have the desire to kill. So why is that wrong?
I think I would want to get more into why you feel the need to kill people instead of.
I don't. It's a hypothetical.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think.
You don't know.
I don't. It's such a. It's
I just think it's a bit
I
silly to
understand
like
it's
have like
hypothetical.
the
I just think
idea
it's
that like,
still
oh, like
absurd,
if you were like a
but I've
clone of
never thought
somebody
about it.
with identical DNA to somebody else, then you wouldn't warrant moral consideration. It just seems like a bit like a silly view. Like
Okay,
all I'm
well,
gonna say is that like, you know, if we're talking about
I'm so
like
glad that you think I have a silly view. I don't care. I don't care what you think about my view, honestly. Like that means
right,
nothing to me.
uh-huh.
So I don't care that you
That's
think
why
it's
you came
silly.
up here to debate me, of course. Because of how you don't care about how you're perceived.
No,
That's why you joined a live
my
show.
my
It's because
my
of
art, my
how
stance
little you
has nothing
care.
to do with how you see it.
Right,
My
right.
stance is independent of how you view it. That's how
I
stances
know
work.
that. But
Clearly,
I'm
you don't.
explaining to you why your stance doesn't make any sense.
You don't understand that. You just said that you think that my stance is completely tied to what you think of it. That's ridiculous. Do you
What?
understand
Did
how
I say
absurd
that?
that is?
I didn't say that your stance
You
is.
just did.
That's
You
not what
said
I
that you came
said.
on the.
You said that you don't care what I
You
think.
just said I came on the
You
live.
said that I don't care
You said I
what.
came on the live
You said I
because
don't
I
care
care
what you
about what you
think.
think of my view.
Okay, you said I don't. Well, you obviously care what I think. It doesn't mean that that is what determines your view. Those aren't the same sentence. I didn't say that your view is contingent upon what I think about your view, but you obviously care to some extent what people think of your view. Otherwise, you wouldn't be
I want to
debating
have a dialogue. I want to have a dialogue. That's all.
Right.
That's it.
Right. So like for
Me
instance,
having a
I can
dialogue
say
with
like
you
I
has
do
no
care
has
what people think about my opinion. That's like the whole point of debating. It's because I want people to agree with me. That would
Yeah,
involve
but
what people think about my view. It's really not that hard to say. Like, yeah, of course. It seems a bit silly to be like, oh, actually, I don't care what people think about my view. I'm just debating it for funsies, I guess, just for no particular reason. Not trying to convince
people
anybody.
debate for no reason. That's
They
that's the thing that
do.
happens. Like
They
what
do.
are you?
I assume you're not. Is that what you're doing?
No, I think it has. I think dialogue has value. It's important.
Of
But I'm saying that
course.
like people think I'm absolutely crazy for being a Christian, and that's okay. Like they call me names, they
I
insult
don't
me.
think you're
That's
crazy for
it's
being a
whatever.
Christian. I think you're crazy for your illogical worldview. Now, some of that might
But
involve Christianity.
you think my view is illogical because I'm a Christian.
No, it's not because you are a Christian. If you have the same view as an atheist, I would also think that it's silly.
But you understand that my main, again, not my only, but my main basis comes from Christianity. Therefore, you
Yeah, and
think that my
that's silly.
worldview is
Yeah.
logical. Like, yeah, so
Yeah,
so you just
again, like
proved yourself
if
wrong.
it's the case that you believe that something shouldn't be legal and your basis for that view is your religious worldview, then you necessarily oppose the separation of church and state because you want your religious worldview to be imposed onto everybody else.
Okay, do you want my honest take on the whole like separation from state and religion?
Yes, I do.
Honestly, I don't think it makes any sense. I really don't. I don't think it makes any sense to have a system of government where we were separating and again, you're going to disagree, that's fine, but I don't think it makes any sense to have a separation of like this is how our government operates from this is where we get our sense of morality of right and wrong. I don't think that makes any sense whatsoever. I think that's very stupid.
Morality can exist independent of religion, and it's also going to be the case that no, we actually shouldn't have the church intertwined with the state. Like this is just like the most anti-American shit ever. I don't know if I want to continue talking to you. You hate America. You hate the Constitution. You hate the founding fathers. So unless you want to be like a left, unless you do it in the leftist way, in which case, okay, based, like, yeah, okay, yeah, fuck America. They did imperialism and shit like that. That's obviously not your position.
Oh my goodness, dude. Your tendency to do straw man arguments is
it's not a straw man. You obviously hate America. You hate America. You hate what America stands for.
See, where did I say?
You hate the separation of church and state, and you would admit to it.
When did I say that I hate America? When did I say that?
Well, you obviously hate what it stands for. So I mean,
be consistent. When did I say that I hate America?
I am consistently saying that if you hate what America stands for, then yeah, you hate America. That's what that means.
You are consistent in saying stupid things. You're correct. You are consistent in saying stupid things.
Right. I'm the one saying stupid things. When you're the one saying that you don't believe that there should be a separation of church and state and that your religion should be mandated.
Why does that make me hate America? Why
you think that your religion should be legally mandated?
No, I don't think people should be forcibly converted. I believe that.
Yeah, I know. You might be a little bit slow. You are, So bear with me. But you
I'm
think
slow.
that your
You think I'm
morality,
slow?
which is
That's
exclusively based
crazy.
on your religion, should be legally enforced in society. That's what you think. You think
I don't
that.
think that
So what if it
everyone.
was the case
I
that
don't think everyone should be a Christian,
say
and I
for
don't think that
instance an Islamic
everything about
society?
Christianity
Do you think that
should be
are you
enforced.
do you have okay? Are you opposed to Islamic theocratic regimes?
Yeah,
Why?
for sure. Because they rape and marry little children.
Uh-huh.
Like, that's crazy.
But their religion
absolutely
says it's
insane.
okay. Yeah, but their religion says it's okay.
Okay.
So why are you against
You
it?
realize that? Do you understand how dumb you sound right now?
No, but their religion says it's okay. No, I'm pointing out the absurdity of your position. I obviously don't think that there should be Islamic theocratic regimes, because unlike you, I'm actually against the separation of church and state because I'm not a fucking retard.
Oh, the rage baiting. Yeah, I don't
do you think you
that.
look good in this conversation?
I think I look a hell of a lot better than you do. You've embarrassed yourself, buddy.
Okay.
I'm sorry. You have. But I don't think that Islamic.
So you're also delusional in that
you're
way.
Conflating.
Okay.
You're conflating Christianity
You're delusional
and
in
Islam.
many regards.
You're deflating Christianity and Islam. That makes no sense to me. Like, you understand they're two separate religions, right?
Yeah, they're both very delusional. They're the same
I
shit.
understand you disagree with them. I understand you don't like them. That's fine.
No.
But
They're both illogical.
sure.
They don't make any sense. There's no reason to believe either of them. There's no evidence in favor of either of them.
Okay, you're not answering the question. Can you try to stay on track? You might have ADHD. That's fine. But try to stay on track with what I'm asking you. I asked you, are they two separate religions? Yes or no?
Yeah, no shit. They're not exactly the same.
It's like how before you wanted a yes or no answer.
Yeah,
from me.
so again,
I'm gonna you.
Yeah, to clarify. Yeah, they're two different things. That doesn't mean there's no more justification. Like, why is it the case that Christianity has sufficient evidence but not Islam? Can you explain that one?
Yeah, so Islam
why is Christianity true but not Islam?
Okay, again, if you want an answer, you got to stop interrupting. That's how conversations work.
Yeah, I'm waiting for an answer.
Okay, so that means you shut your mouth. It's like for
so I'm waiting for an answer, not you being sarcastic. I'm waiting for an answer.
Okay, then shut your mouth. So my answer.
I'm waiting for an answer.
So shut up. So the way.
Yeah, give me the answer.
The reason we know that Christianity is more believable and more reliable to believe in than Islam is because we have basically no historical or archaeological evidence to support anything that Islam really says. Like, it's kind of just the Quran is just kind of a book.
Can you find the archaeological / historical evidence of the Great Flood, of Noah's Ark? Where's the historical / archaeological evidence of this?
They literally found the Ark.
No, they didn't.
What are you talking about? Yes, they did.
No, they fucking didn't. You retard.
Google is free. Google is free, buddy. Google is free. Okay.
Yeah, I googled this and I heard somebody say that, and I'm like, okay, I'll look into it. And guess what? There was nothing there. There was no evidence. It was there's some like retarded Christians that think some sort of fucking rock formation is Noah's Ark.
It's not a rock formation. They found the boat itself.
Really? Would you like to send me a picture of where this boat is? So send me a source, please. You're the one citing it.
I'd be happy.
All right, let's go. Yes, show me the source. Show me the source that shows us the boat. In the meantime, I'll read some donos. Until you find it. Let's see here. Thank you, Alex Harper, for the 5, saying, do you believe a zygote and a brain dead adult are of equal value? Yes, at least terminally. Thank you, Megan, for the 5, saying L Collar changed the topic to Jesus' second coming. Thank you again, Megan, for the additional 5, saying dogs have increased dopamine with owners animals can love. Thank you, Alex Harper, for the 2, saying, how do I call in? There's like a Discord link in the description, and also the About section for debates. Thank you, Sebastian Cano Osorio, the 279 Canadian, saying, what's the debate? We're debating abortion. Thank you, Alex Harper, for the additional 2, saying, You don't need God to not be a dick. True. Thank you for the additional 2, Alex Harper, saying, so do people in Kentucky. Not sure what that's in response to, but thank you nonetheless. Thank you, Randy S., for the 10, saying, nice theocrats be like, people shouldn't be forcibly converted to religion, just legally forced to obey my religion. Also, he's coping hard, lol. True. Thank you, Alex Harper, for the additional 2, saying, the Quran and Bible are barely different. Thank you, Albert, for the 5, saying, you should watch the Charlie Kirk versus medical student debate at some point. It covers all the topics this guy is saying. It's so good. And last but not least, thank you, Megan, for the 5, saying other religions have been around for thousands of years before Christianity. Also, I want to see the boat. Is it in the Atlantic with the Titanic? That's a good question. All right, have you found the source or
are the same? Is such a low IQ statement. So I've got 2 different things here.
Can you like show them to me? Can you like put them in the pop-out chat or DM them to me? Whatever is necessary.
I can be. Yeah, I'm actually on my computer for the Googling, so I can send that. I can't show you. I can't screen share because I'm using Discord on my phone, but I can send you the links to them on Discord.
Yeah, just send me the links. Yeah.
Sure. Let me. I'm gonna have to email them to myself so that I can pull it up on my phone and then copy and paste it into the Discord.
Okay, I need to take a piss really fucking bad, so
that's fine.
I'm gonna close this discussion, but I will look at the whatever the fuck you send me on stream. So, just DM that to me. I really need to pee. So thank you for coming on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Hope you have a good night.
Thank you, Alex Harper, for the additional 2, saying explain why the same entities appear in both. True. All right, I need to pee. I'm gonna be right back. Convenient timing? No, I'm literally gonna look at whatever he sends me. I just need to pee really bad. I'm gonna be right back. What I found. Hello. Oh, it's a baby cat. Oh. You're so cute. Hi. Oh. Want me to put you on your back? A little blankie? Okay. Sorry about that. Clean your room? Never. Alright, let's see. What have I been DM'd anything? Also, apparently the server known as Vasar is coming back. Oh, maybe it's in message requests. I don't see it anywhere. Where's the links? I'm waiting. I don't see it here. Spam. Wait, fuck, what was their username? It was something bison. Here, let me search. Wait, no. Wait, okay. Why can't I fucking find it? Wait, hold on, give me a sec. Where the fuck? Oh wait, I'm searching in femtards. I'm an idiot. I'm a fucking moron. Oh, it's this guy. Profile. Message. Yes, it's this guy. I'm waiting for him to DM me. He hasn't DM'd me shit. I'm confused. Femi, you dummy? Well, I'm waiting for him to DM me shit. Yo, thank you, Megan, for the additional 2, saying, sends you an AI arc photo. Yeah, true. Fuck, I'm convinced now. He didn't find it? Yeah, I guess not, because, like, I'm waiting for him to send it. Oh, okay, what's this? Okay, this is from New York Post. Here, let me copy and paste this into an incognito window. All right. New incognito window. Okay. Shut up. Oh my god, there's so many advertisements. What the fuck is this garbage? Okay. Arc was described as being 15 feet long. Where did it say the exact measurements? 86 feet wide and 52 feet tall. Meanwhile, an examination of 22 soil samples collected from the site revealed that the suspected structure had lower pH levels. 2 times the amount of organic matter, 40% more potassium. Okay, what is this? What's this? Okay, is this it? Where is it getting this from? Why do I trust what the New York Post has to say? Where are their sources? I'm confused. If you know soil science, as I'm a soil scientist, you'll understand this, that the potassium levels, organic matter, and pH can be influenced by decaying organic material. What does that have to? How does that prove that it's Noah Ark? Or sorry, how does that prove that it's Noah's Ark? If this was a wooden boat and the wood had rotted over time, we would expect to see elevated levels of potassium, higher changes of pH. Okay. What does that have to do with anything? So there might have been a wooden boat. That doesn't prove that it's Noah's Ark. That could literally be any discovery. Like, this is nothing. Yo, thank you, Mark Lima, for the 5 saying that could literally be any archaeological discovery, confirmation bias. Yeah. Like, why is it not one of the thousands of, decaying wooden boats that aren't Noah's Ark? Why is that one different? Okay, I'll look at the other source that he sent. Okay. Something tells me it's not going to be very different. The Mirror US. I have no idea what the fuck this site is, but we'll go there anyway. It also has 5 billion ads, including one that says that apparently my IQ is over 140. Oh, that's if I answer the 25 questions correctly, of course. Right. They should just replace IQ tests with whatever that is. Okay. So, a bombshell discovery has been made by archaeologists who have used radar to find remnants of Noah's Ark in Turkey. Okay, what's the evidence that it's Noah's Ark? Analysis of the GPR has shown to have found a chemical imprint as well as pieces of wood in the ground. Oh, dude, and the shape of a... Oh, dude, it's in the shape of a hall, and there's pieces of wood. Dude, there's pieces of wood in this, big hill. Dude, it must be Noah's Ark. It couldn't be anything else. Right. Okay. Dude, there's like pieces of wood there. Dude, it couldn't be like a you know, couldn't be anything else. It must be Noah's Ark because there's wood there. There's obviously wood. And that obviously means that Noah's Ark is there and it's real. Like, okay, dude. Sure. The Bible tells us that this massive vessel saved humanity and all species of animals from a catastrophic flood over 4,300 years ago. Right. Dude, there's angular structures. Dude, there's angular structures, though. It must be Noah's Ark. Yo, thank you, Alex Harper, for the additional 5, saying there was an actual archaeological dig in Turkey about 30 years ago. People claimed are the Ark. Yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, they found something, but like, there's no reason to believe it's Noah's Ark. Like, it's just like, it's like a silly conclusion to come to. Like, what? Andrew Jones, an independent researcher with Noah's Ark scans, used ground-penetrating radar to identify what seemed to be a 13-foot tunnel. Dude, there's a 13-foot tunnel running through the center of the formation, so it must be Noah's Ark. And we have like 25 advertisements. So we scroll past that, and then whatever the fuck this is, okay. Analysis of the GPR data purports to have found central and side corridors. Wait, where? Can I see them? Why don't they dig this up? Why don't they dig it up? Why are they just leaving it like that? Make it make sense. But the book of Genesis says make a roof for the ark. So if it has a roof, it must be Noah's Ark. Because there's no other structures that have roofs. You know? If it rains, you could get fucked, I guess. Right? Make it with lower, second, and third decks. Right. The researcher told the Christian Broadcasting Network, CBN, we're not expecting something that's fully preserved. What's left is the chemical imprint, pieces of wood in the ground, the shape of a hole. Dude, there's like chemicals and pieces of wood. Dog. That is not evidence of Noah's Ark. Yeah, because the Noah's Ark, the only thing that has chemicals and is made out of wood. True. Very accurate. The whatever the fuck this formation is called, located a mere 18 miles south of Mount Ararat, Turkey's highest peak, has only been known to the modern world for less than 100 years. Reports suggest that heavy rains and earthquakes in May 1948 washed away the surrounding mud, unveiling the enigmatic formation, which was then stumbled upon by a Kurdish shepherd. The Bible says that Noah's Ark found its final resting place on the mountains of Ararat. Okay. Interesting. Where does it say that in the Bible, though? Like, okay, you found something in the mountains? Formation is situated near a mountain. Like, I'm sorry. So it was situated near a mountain. Okay. But surely we would find, like, additional evidence that, like, there was, like, a flood. Because it would have to be, like, around, like, the whole world, right? Or was it just, like, a flood in this area? Because if it's enough of a flood to, like, to cover, you know, to cover the peaks of mountains, pretty big fucking flood. So surely we'd see more evidence of that, right? Biblical accounts describe the ark as 300 cubits long, blah, blah, blah. Okay. While some scientists dismiss the formation as a natural geological occurrence, yeah, that's what this looks like. Like, I'm gonna be. Does this look like an arc to you, or is this just like the I don't know, like part of a fucking mountain or whatever the fuck? This just looks like a normal bit of terrain. Like, I'm sorry. Like, does this stand out to you, or does this just look like regular ass terrain? I'm sorry, this doesn't stand out to me. It's like, oh wow, there's like a fucking There's like a mound of dirt there. Whoa, wow, dude, there's a mound of dirt. It must be Noah's Ark. Like, okay, dude. Like, okay, there's traces of wood. Well, maybe there used to be trees there. You ever considered that? You know, the Razor's Occam, obviously more simple and obvious solution, which is, yeah, there was like a tree there, or maybe there was, you know, there were multiple trees. That's where the wood comes from, because trees have wood. No, that couldn't possibly be the case. That's not where wood comes from. What are you talking about? It could only come from Noah's Ark. So, like, what, in what world are these corridors? Found central and side corridors. Right. Genesis 6:14. Yeah, oh, it's made out of wood, though. And there's, like, holes in it. Wow. Very, very interesting. You know, this is exactly what Noah's Ark looked like. Is it had, you know, like, you know, holes in the dirt, you know? And, like, pieces of wood from trees growing over it, of course. But the grass growing in that part is a different color compared to the area outside of it. Right. I'm lost. Where? What? Hold on. This is the... Where's, like, the image? No, it's not. It looks the fucking same. What are you talking about? How is this different here? Oh, it's slightly more brown. Oh, there's like, it looks slightly more like dirt in some areas. It's like a little bit patchy. You know, like how it's patchy over here, or like, you know, over here it's kind of patchy. Oh, but it's patchy over here, so it must be Noah's Ark. This is so dumb. All right. If I, okay. Okay, they got 22 samples. We want to compare what's inside the formation versus what's outside. Yeah, probably. We already read this, right? Yeah, we already read that part. Okay. Yeah, dude. There's literally nothing there. I'm sorry. Good try, but no. Okay, apparently Genesis 8:4 is the part that the Bible said it was from that. Oh, crazy how the fucking thumbnail of the article looks a whole lot different than the actual thing. Dude, I can't. Okay. All right, I think I'm done. Dude, I can't do this no more. I'm tired. If you enjoyed the stream, smash like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm bored. I don't want to debate abortion for a bit, because I just did, and we didn't really get that many good callers, but whatever. Maybe we'll debate it again. If you didn't get the opportunity to debate me, I apologize. Subscribe with notifications on so that you can see when I go live, and then you'll be able to be the first person in the waiting room, you know, which increases the likelihood of me getting to you. And, yeah. But, no, I think I'm done with call-ins for now. Sleep time? No, not sleep time. I'm not that tired. But yeah. Hold on, let me see. How much? Okay, nice. So, $111, and then times 0.7 is how much I've made. Oh, and then plus 5 times 0.7. Okay. Not a bad stream at all. Mommy ASMR time is crazy. But yeah, subscribe for more content. What mascara do you use, Femi? I need. I just use like L'Oreal. I don't know. That's the brand. I don't know what specific one I got. Gooning to trans flag emoji, of course. That Noah's Ark pic got me worked up. Damn. I see, I see. Now make the stream about the cat. You know, I could do that, but she's laying down. She looks comfy. I don't want to disturb her. Otherwise I would, but she looks really comfy. And she wanted to go on my bed, so yeah. I'm not trying to annoy her. I do enough of that off stream already. You know. I wish the aliens would have let the dinosaurs on the Ark. Yeah, why didn't they let the dinosaurs on the Ark? That's really fucked up. That's actually the real reason dinosaurs went extinct, is because they weren't allowed onto Noah's Ark because they were too big. You know, they were just too big. I love this woman right here. Aw, well, thank you. Should have debated Kittios. She would have made better points, like Meow and Purr. True, I can't disagree with that. You know, I can't refute that. You're so pretty. Thank you. Noah was dino racist. True. I mean, think about it. You'd have to get like all those different species of dinosaur. You'd have to like get like every variant of like every fucking species. Otherwise, it's like, yeah, it just like wouldn't work scientifically. Reason proves the Ark myth was impossible. True. True, true, true. I'm not trans, but can I join the server, Femyoz? Yeah, of course. Yeah, why not? I don't see why not. As long as you're cool and based and epic. You know, as long as you're a nice person. Dying laughing at mosquitoes on the Ark. True. Yeah, mosquitoes would have to be on the Ark. It's the same with like all the insects. Dude. Can I join the Ark? Or can you? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Hard to say. Hard to say. Let me guess. Noah brought the fish too. True. No, I don't think these people realize like what kind of impact like a flood of that scale would have on like the actual like the environment of the Earth. Like even if it's just like temporary, like I don't think he realizes like the ramifications that would have on various different species. Like why is it the case that there's like, you know, opinion on Buddhism? Honestly, I'd say out of like all like the religious views, I'd say Buddhism is one of like the ones that I like the most. I kind of fuck with Buddhism. It's more like I almost view it as more of like a way of life. It's just like it's like a way of life, and there's also some spiritual elements to it, and there's like also some like philosophical elements to it, and I like that. I think that's cool because it's like it's very harmless. Femyoz, what's your strategy for being so pretty? Maybe I need some tips. Aw, thank you. And I don't know. Bacteria's killing us in the future. Chilling on the Ark be like, true. What are you debating? I was debating abortion. But now I'm just chilling for a little bit. The last 15 minutes or so of stream. And then I'll probably head off. I'll head to bed. Actually, no, I'll probably do a server VC. So if you guys want to join the server, I have the an invite link in the about section of my channel. It won't be the same as the debate server. There's one called Community Discord. That's the one that I'm going to be in. And yeah. So if you want to join that, we're going to do a new fags VC. We're going to do a VC for new fags. So I heard Buddha was a black man. What you hear? Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh wait, I need to... Alright. Okay, sorry, I was just leaving that. Not me getting random friend requests. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't know who you are. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, my cat is probably going to hell. Well, damn. Why would your cat go to hell? Learn about the 12 tribes? Why? The spiritual part of Buddhism wasn't original. It was created to compete with the spiritual aspects of Hinduism. Interesting. I love this woman right here. Aw, well, thank you. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. Are you trans? You better believe I am. I'm trans and I enjoy your videos. Hell yeah. MTF? Oh, hell yeah. Dude, you should especially join if you're a tranny, or if you support us. You know, if you're an ally, or some flavor of gay or queer, whatever. As long as you're supportive of the community, then you know, may as well join. Anyways, you're beautiful. Thank you. I like your mustache. Thank you. It's actually one of those cartoon villain mustaches. You know, like the ones that like have like the it's like a like the twirls at the end. Like I'm like a mustache twirling villain is why. I'm trans. Yo, base. Transition goals. Well, thank you. Buddhism was created because Hinduism was oppressing people. Is that true? I'm not too sure. I don't know the history of it. Philosophical question: is it gay if I like femboys because they look cute? Look, if you're attracted to men, that's like a little bit gay, yeah. Unless you're a woman, but you know, you're still going to hell. Well, hell isn't real, so you know. Just saying. Which gods aren't man-made? None of them. They're all man-made. At least the ones that are described by humans. Gorgeous, gorgeous girls. Hell yeah. Anyways. It's not gay for me to like or for me to like femboys. Are you are you a guy? Because if you're a guy, then yeah, it's kind of gay. It's gay to be attracted to men, but it's okay. It's okay to be bisexual or gay. Like, it doesn't matter. Labels don't fucking matter. You shouldn't put that much weight on it. Liking trans women isn't gay because, like, it's like, you know, men being attracted to women is straight. So, yeah. I don't like trans, but I like you. Hey, we all start somewhere, right? I'll take that over you hating all of us. You know, instead you hate most of us. I'm always mesmerized by your hair. It's just so fluffy and gorgeous. Well, thank you. Being attracted to femininity isn't gay if you're a guy. I guess it does depend. At least in part, it depends on why you're attracted to them. Does it really matter if she's trans or not? No, it really doesn't. Wasn't this debate? Her genitals don't impact her ability to defend a stance. True. True. It's interesting when people bring up the whole trans thing when I'm debating abortion. Like, why is that relevant? Like, what does being trans have to do with abortion? Are you trans? Yup. Yes, ma'am. If it's the femininity that attracts you, I feel like it's hard to say for real. Yeah, fair. Charlie Kirk and Tyler Robinson were gay lovers. Real. I was actually thinking Charlie Kirk and Dean Withers. You know, the ultimate power couple. I'm just saying. I love how I changed the whole debate. Well, I don't know. The debate got derailed, for sure. Also, welcome Megan to Supporter Gang. Thank you very much. Abortion is morally wrong in 95% of cases. Why? Why is it morally wrong? I'm confused. You still trying to gag? Wait, gag cooked in any debate? What? Oh, you mean get cooked? Yeah, I haven't been cooked yet. Less than 5% is rape or life of mother. Hein Ketchup, you should have joined sooner. Oh my god, why did you have to join so late? I would have debated because I've seen you in chat. Only their god can perform abortions. So true. She's adorable. Nuh-uh, I'm big and strong and scary. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. I'm big and strong and scary. Don't you worry. That's right. I'm like, you should fear me. I'm so big and scary. Also, chat, I just noticed. We have... What the fuck? We have 171 likes. Chat, can we get to 200 likes? I think we can. I think we get to 200 likes. Double tap to smash like. I'm just saying, it's free, it's easy, there's no logical reason not to do it. If you enjoy the content, you want to support me, you want to boost me in the algorithm, you want to tell YouTube, I want more. Double tap to smash like and subscribe if you really want to tell YouTube, hey, I want more of this stuff. This stuff is good. Subscribe if you haven't already. My dream, my childhood dream even, is to get 100,000 subscribers. So make sure to subscribe. I'm just saying. I've always dreamed of the day that I could get 100K. It's like, I used to think that once you get like 100K, you've made it. Like, it's like you can go full time. That's not true, but it sounds true. I guess it used to be true. But yeah, I don't know. With shorts and whatnot, it's not exactly. But you know. I'm pro-choice because I'm indecisive as fuck. Real. I was talking about the girl I'm flirting with right now, but you're adorable as well. Nuh-uh. No, I'm not. Also, yeah, you didn't at them, so I was like, I assumed you were talking. Usually when somebody doesn't at somebody, I just like assume you're like talking to me. Are you just live on YouTube? Yeah, I think I'm also live on Kick. Yeah, I'm multi-streaming. But nothing really happens in Kick chat, so like, yeah. Let me see. I'm gonna go to Kick right now. Go to my channel. Yeah, there's like, yeah, it's like scammers and people talking about my titties. Still watching them titties. So yeah, I don't bother paying attention. Like this is the type of shit that I see. That like these are the chat messages I get. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is garbage. Yeah, message me and you'll get 3,000 real followers and 200 concurrents and active chat engagement. You're such a bullshitter. Like, I don't believe that for a second. Like, do people actually fall for that shit? Still watching them titties? God damn. You get the full 16:9 Femyoz ratio though? Yeah, but like, that's true. That's true for sure. When's Kona coming back? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Ah, man. Oh, it's so cold. I'm gonna get you pregnant is crazy. That's a crazy thing to say. Like, goddamn. Let's see. Also, why did Christianity absorb many pagan traditions to pacify those who had trouble converting from their pagan beliefs to Christianity? Must be a coincidence. Yeah, that's right. Indians are not black. Why are people debating if Indians are black in my chat? Femi, you can get pregnant, but only by 2 people, George Droid and Charlie Squirt. Yeah, true. True. I think I'd have to do George Droid. You know, because like George Droid definitely has a bigger dick than Charlie Squirt. Like, you just know for a fact, Charlie Squirt's dick is tiny. I miss her horror movie knowledge. Oh my god, you remember that? You've been around for a while. Jesus. Bionically enhanced? Real. Love this one right here. Let's go. Can we watch something like the Ark? I don't know. Maybe we'll do some React content soon. Don't worry. We're not just gonna do debate streams. I was Charlie Kirk's neck, but someone reported me. Damn, that sucks. Wait, you're so fucking based. You're so based for that. Join the Discord server, okay? If you're on mobile and can't click it, just screenshot it and then and then type the link. Type the URL or whatever. Or you could click on my channel and one of the links in the about section will be labeled as Community Discord. Hold on, that link is that's the right one, yeah. I'm just making sure. Republic Clan Nazis hate color. True. Actual walking rage bait. You know, I don't disagree. You're not wrong. We need to watch a documentary about those wood sample. Oh god, that sounds boring as fuck. What time is it in your country? Mine is 11:08. Oh, it's like 12:30 at night for me. India was a part of Africa. What? Okay. Sure. I don't know what you're yapping about. Oh, you're saying all humans are Africa? What? Well, depends on your definition. Like, yeah, humans all came from Africa. Yeah, the human race came from Africa. That's true. No, I don't stream on Twitch. I might start doing that. We'll see. Femyoz, you're completely irrational. True. I'm so irrational, in fact, that I destroyed all your garbage arguments. Abortion is murder, by the way. Well, we had that debate, and I won, so... Well, or maybe you didn't debate me, or whatever, but... Femyoz, you're completely irrational? True. I agree. Do you believe in the Aryan invasion theory? I don't even know what that is. You have really pretty eyes? Well, thank you. It's fucking 6:30 a.m. here. I was about to go to bed, but I missed yesterday's stream and couldn't do that twice. Fair. But go get some sleep. Get some sleep. You gotta get some sleep. You definitely need sleep. Fem, have you read any Japanese fascist books? I can't say that I have. Why would I ever do that? Do you have a favorite person you debated tonight? I don't know. I guess, like, favorite person who called in. I don't know. Probably like one of like the more chill convos. I don't have a specific favorite, but I don't know. Probably the people that agreed with me. They were based. That's why. Right. Okay. So now you're in favor of Japanese style fascism. Oh God. Hyperborea over Agartha. Imagine reading books. True. True. Bokai. Bokai was like really dumb, so like maybe that was like my favorite in terms of like he was like annoying enough to like the point where it was funny, but I don't know. I don't know what Aryan invasion theory is. I'm gonna be so real. Oh, so it's the BS idea. We need to preserve whiteness because non-white genes are dominant. Without racism, eventually likely nobody will be white. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about that. Like, who cares if oh no, there's no more white people. Who gives a shit? Who fucking cares? Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo, who gives a shit? Fascism is cool as long as my overlord is muscle mommy. True. Bokai because he crashed out. True, that was pretty funny. But chat, how did I do in the debates? Did I do okay? I don't know. I mean, I mainly did 2 debates that were like actually like longer. It was B+. Okay. Yeah, it could have been better. I don't know. I didn't really debate anybody good though, so I'd crash out if I kept getting interrupted like you did to that guy. Girl, I'm not just gonna listen to you fucking yap for like 20 hours, okay? I'm not here to listen to your fucking TED Talk, okay? Alright, I'm not here to give you a platform to create your own fucking podcast. That's not what this is for. Okay, if I wanted to listen to a brain dead podcast I would listen to the Talk to a podcast, okay? All right, I wouldn't listen to you. You were beautiful in the debates. Well, thank you. You do quite well in the debates. Well, thank you. He told her to shut up on her channel, like WTF. I mean, you can do that, but like it just like doesn't look good. Like it's like okay, like sure, but it's from show. She can interrupt how much she wants. Yeah, it's like dog. I can interrupt you. Like it's fine. Like if you're not following along in the conversation, you're not paying attention. Like the debate needed a moderator. It went off topic and it stayed off topic. The reason it went off topic is because I was bored. And I wanted to see where you would go with it. I'm not gonna lie. 4 stars. We can't even prove what consciousness is. No, but we have like some idea. We have some idea as to who is and isn't conscious, right? What do you think the best age for somebody's egg to crack is? Whenever they're ready. Preferably as soon as possible, though. He went somewhere crazy with it, I know. To be fair, the point was to, like, let him sort of give him... It was to give himself enough rope to sort of hang himself with. Because he wasn't particularly self-aware. So, I was like, you know, I'll give him some rope to make himself look worse in the conversation, you know. Fem, have you read any books about... Or by, Cadrino? The Romanian fascist? He was more of a Christian monarchist? No, I haven't read that. That sounds gay. Who did you debate? Hitler? Yes, I debated Adolf Hitler himself. Anyways. I know this is personal, so you don't have to answer, but can you still reproduce with a woman since you're bisexual? No, because I'm a bottom. Allegedly. No, the real reason is because, I'm infertile from HRT. I might be able to if I went off HRT, but I'm not going to do that. But allegedly? What? No, don't clip it. Don't clip it. No, we still get spinnies at 20 donos? If per the request of the person donating, yeah. No, don't clip it. Don't clip it. Allegedly, yeah, okay, they'll all buy that. Yeah, they will. They will. Can't zinc make you fertile again? I don't fucking know, dude. I'm retarded, okay? I don't care about being fertile. I don't intend on having children. Flip it? I don't know how. Damn. I was ready to crack since I was like 11. Dude, I would have been ready to crack when I was like 5. When I was 5, I knew I secretly wanted to be a girl. Like if that was like given to me as like an option, I would have taken it. Like if someone went up to me and was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, you can choose whether or not you're like a guy or a girl." I'd be like, "Oh, I'm choosing girl." Any day. Yeah, no children gang, true. Who needs kids? Can I keep my hog if I do HRT? Yeah. If you want to keep it the same size, just use it. It's either use it or lose it, basically. So you gotta use it every day. Do you think I'm a female chaser? No. I like trans girls European only, though, Femyoz. I don't think that makes you a chaser. I think it just means you're attracted to who you're attracted to. I mean, like, I don't think that being attracted to me, for instance, is like a bad thing. It doesn't make you a chaser. Like, it's fine. But anyways, I'm a proud T for T chaser. Let's fucking go. You will be the sole reason I'll start wearing fishnets and spiky collars. You're welcome. Life a tart at conception. Yeah, I'm gonna take you very seriously. I like trans dudes, but I don't fetishize it. Fair. Do you have a boyfriend? No. I have a girlfriend. We're poly, though. We're probably gonna create a polycule. Isn't that so epic and based? It sure is. Dude, I'm too tired to debate people right now. I need, at the very least, I need a break, okay? I need a fucking break. How long have you been transitioning? 2.5 years, roughly. A little bit less than that. But we're getting there. Aw, cute. Happy for you. Wait, who, me? Wait, why are we happy for me? I forgot. I'm, like, not paying attention. Oh, the polycule. The puppycule. Oh, that's what that was in response to. Okay. Yeah, me too. We trans buddies. Aw, yeah. Let's go. Dude wanted attention so bad he stopped being transphobic. Fem, debate me on Romanian fascism. I really don't want to do that. Abortion is amoral? True. Like, it's going to be moral or immoral depending on the context. Humans attribute arbitrary value to human life? True. You still pee standing up? Wouldn't you like to know? Wouldn't you like to know? Very masculine jaw. It's probably more masculine than yours, but that's just because you've got a leafy chin. You got one of them fucking weak chins. I got a strong chin. Wait, what's polycule? It's like when you have like more than just one partner. Kind of thing. Like it's like I only know triads and E&M and shit. I don't know what that is, honestly. Polycule would be like any kind of like polyamorous / non-monogamous relationship. It's basically like a relationship but better. Fem, debate me on whether cookie is soup. No, I'm not debating you on that. Yes, ethical non-monogamy, for the record. Yes. Let's see. Your strong chin can handle all these kisses? Jesus. Aw, lol. Abortion itself is an immoral act, just like gun ownership. You can argue that it leads to negative outcomes, so the act itself is not a moral thing. Yeah, and I would say that, like, the outcomes are going to depend, right? And I agree with you, right? Like, I would base whether or not it's a good or a bad thing based on the outcomes. So you would agree with me. You're also a consequentialist. US is underbabied, so abortion should be discouraged. Why that but not contraception? Why not discourage contraception? Because contraception prevents pregnancy. Right? Oh, wait, because there's no reason to. Yeah, we should encourage contraception. We should encourage people to have kids when they're ready to. And when they want to. I will take over America and govern by Sharia. You have fun with that. Dude. I don't know what Tajikistan is or why you want me to say that I love it. Why should I say that? The only stan that I truly love is Kekistan. But, I don't know. I don't think I would ever immigrate. Is your country? Is this a real country? Wait. I can't tell. Oh, it is. Well, I guess I may or may not love Tajikistan depending on what its politics are. I don't know. I'm sure the people there are pretty cool. Country in Central Asia. Oh, it looks pretty. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think I like it based on what I've seen. Yeah. That's some really nice fucking mountain ranges. Goddamn. That's pretty cool. Okay. Anyways. Cheese a stand. Those are nice rocks, bro. Well, yeah, I mean, it's like fucking pretty. Yeah, like yeah, sometimes rock formations are pretty. Yeah. Let me appreciate nature. Like, God. Can you just, like, let a bitch appreciate some nature? Like, can I do that? Hey, Femyoz, got any grapes? Nah, why? What's the go-to vacation spot? I have no idea. Is there an ark? I saw wood. Yeah, there must be. It must be Noah's Ark there. Fajita. Oh man, I didn't even read it like that. Arc IRL? Theism requires ignorance. Do you think I could pull off a Benito Mussolini look? Why? Why would you do that? You're gonna be like bald and ugly. Why would you ever go for that? Femi, do you think I could be bald and ugly? Yeah, probably. If you wanted to. You just like shave your head. I don't know why you would want to do that. Let's see. Pro-life folk don't maintain their own positions most of the time by their logic. IVF is mass murder, and yet they support that. True. I usually just go the sperm reductio route because it's like the most straightforward. And then they'll be like, well, yeah, but like it's like different because like, you know, what about the unique DNA of the fetus? And it's like, okay. So if it was the case that the fetus was a clone, then you wouldn't have a problem murdering it. And that's where I trapped the other guy, and they bit a crazy bullet where they're like, yeah, actually, I think it's morally justifiable to murder a clone of somebody if their DNA is identical because they don't have their own DNA. And it's you either trap them into A, having the most absurd position so they look terrible in front of an audience, or B, they contradict themselves, right? What about the unique DNA of my tight pussy? Real. Your lashes are gorgeous, girl. Thank you, Feilani. I appreciate that. What about women having periods and passing an egg each month? True. True. That's fucking murder. Dude, they're getting murdered. Just move to a pro-trans city like San Francisco. Yeah, just move, bro. You totally have enough money for that. That's so true. But baby, have our DNA. Yeah, well, come also have our DNA. Well, what's your point? Have you seen the Taliban trying to promote tourism? No, but that sounds funny as fuck. Due to point out that cloning is currently scientifically possible, it's heavily illegal in humans and in animals in a lot of places across all of the West. Wait, really? Wait, can we create identical clones of humans? Because I assume that the reason that we wouldn't be able to do it is because it wouldn't be reliable and like... Is that real? I know we've cloned animals. I know humans are animals, but like, you know what I mean. We can, but not ethically? What would make it unethical? What would be unethical? Yeah, like Dolly the sheep happened in the 90s, right? Yeah. I know about Dolly the sheep. China's done it, I thought. Yeah, I don't know why this would be unethical though. Like, why can't I clone myself? Like, why is that bad? Ethically selecting genes? I don't see why this would be why would it be unethical to clone though? I don't get it. Oh, it's unethical because they end up being gay. It's true. It's because they have the gay gene. No clones have survived, they all had defects. That's what I would think. No, I wouldn't be, it doesn't have to be eugenics. I don't get, why would it have to be eugenics? Yes, too many gays? True. Exactly, I should be allowed to have as many clones as I want. Yeah, can I just create like an army of like mini Femyoses? Am I allowed to do that? Eve was a trans clone? True. Anytime you start, quote, playing God, some people will think it's unethical or eugenics. Yeah, but I just don't see that being the case here. I can't wait for Mewgenics to come out. Yeah, it's like eugenics, but like whoever like mews the hardest wins. They get to carry their genes. I mean, if you think about it, that's already the case because if you mew, then you get all the bitches. Clones of bottoms. I thought it was ethics, but it could be due to genetic defects. Yeah, because I can't think of why would it be unethical. Like corporations do shit that's like actually unethical all the time. That doesn't fucking stop them. Is capitalism ethical? No. No, it's not. You sure Parker's debated that? We was dictators and shit? Okay. Alright. That's great. Is phrenology based? No. That shit's dumb as shit. Dumb as fuck. No actual scientist believes in that shit no more. There's a reason for that. Telomeres are shorter in older people, so your clone would have an older cellular age. You would die younger. Okay, that's why. Interesting. I didn't know that. But like, what about like an infant? Could you like couldn't you clone like an infant? Isn't that a thing you could do? You should be able to, right? Can any woman with resources always get an abortion? Probably, yeah. Yeah, if you have the resources for it. Fuentes is already surface level. Dude, wait, you're not a Nick Fuentes simp anymore, Mr. Sword? Okay. Cheeks are actually whiter than most Europeans. Okay. I guess I believe that. I don't really see why that matters though. Nature created clones already, identical twins. Yeah, true, but in the example I gave, like the hypothetical scenario, I wanted to come up with an example of where they're genetically identical, because technically, even identical twins have differences in their DNA. Right? That's why I posed the hypothetical. Okay, like let's say there's like a clone that has the exact same DNA as you, but it's like its own individual person, but it has the same DNA. Is it wrong to kill them? Right? IMO is wrong. There are better alternatives to do with the child if you don't want it. I'm sorry, but like it's not a child. It's not a person. If we're talking within the first 26 weeks, it's not going to be sentient, right? I love you so much. Let's fucking go. Based. Very based. I like the egg and sperm spell hypotheticals because women kill eggs monthly and men goon daily. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's how you know I'm a real woman, because I never gooned daily. Fuck that shit. That shit was like... That shit always came across as weird to me. I might have been low T, though. I don't know. I might have just had low T. Anyways. If you cannot perform an abortion yourself, why have the expectation for others to do it for you? Well, I feel like that goes with anything in society. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, what's that? You can't give yourself healthcare? Well, why do you expect others to do it? Oh, what's that? You can't build your own house? Why do you expect other people to do it? Like, what are you talking about? Welcome to Afghanistan. Taliban video is pretty funny. I gotta watch that at some point. That does sound pretty funny. A child isn't an adult, so a fetus isn't a child? True. Would you rather name your child Ancient Debris or Suspicious Stew? No, I would name them lightly weathered. It would be waxed, lightly weathered, cut copper stairs. Okay, that's what I would name my child. Either that or polished blackstone brick stairs. Okay. Aborting your own clones would be based. A fetus is still human? Yeah, so is your cum. Your cum is also human DNA. Like, what's your point? Hello, SS Caro. Again, I don't see why DNA would be valuable in of itself. Like, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, being human in of itself isn't valuable. I'm naming my next child Arcdirt. As you should. I'm gonna name my child Gridiron Fence. Thanks for reading my comment. You gave me a chuckle. You gave me a chuckle. Cum didn't meet egg yet. Yeah, and cum isn't human. No, it's human DNA. It's human. Cum is the DNA of something else. So it's like not human DNA. It's like somebody else. It's something else entirely that doesn't have human DNA in it. Okay, how do you think that male DNA is able to be, you know, given to future generations? Where do you think that DNA comes from? It wouldn't turn into a human by itself. Yeah, neither would a fetus. It relies on the womb of the mother. Without the womb, it would just fucking die. Idiot. Nobody actually values human life based on sentience. Sentience is just the ability to experience pleasure and pain. In context, they mean sapience, which fetuses and animals don't have. No, I would actually say sentience. My standard would be sentience. Maybe other people would believe sapience is the standard, but I wouldn't have that take. Like I'm kind of firmly in more of like the utilitarian camp of thought. So, girl, I was joking. It was a typo. I was saying my cum isn't human. Okay. So the cum is human. The child of the womb is a clump of... No, it would also be human. The way that a brain-dead human is human. It doesn't mean that they warrant moral consideration. Not all humans warrant moral consideration. It's just, like, not true. Cum is also human. It's got human DNA in it. Doesn't mean it warrants moral consideration. Mosquitoes have sentience. In your debate, you argue that they don't have value. What do you mean by sentience? Mosquitoes don't experience anything. They don't have subjective they don't have qualitative subjective experiences, right? They don't experience qualia. You're just like wrong about that. Keep talking about okay, all right, you guys are insane. Abortion is wrong. Do not have sex if you do not want to have a baby. So you're in the camp of people that believes that consenting to an act means that you consent to all possible outcomes of said act. So anytime you drive to work, you're consenting to a drunk driver fucking T-boning you, right? That's your position? Logically, it would have to be for you to be consistent. Otherwise, you don't really believe anything in actuality. Yeah, abstinence only. Never have fun. Never do anything fun. That'll really convince the American public. Yeah, never do anything fun in life. Be miserable and never have sex. Fem, you take the risk. It's not about consent. It is about consent. Right? Like, if it's the case that they don't consent to being pregnant, why should they be forced to? Like, that's ridiculous. There's nothing wrong with getting an abortion. I agree that you should have protective sex, but it's not infallible. Like, sometimes you get pregnant even if you have protective sex and you take the preventative measures. If you take all the preventative measures while having sex and you still get pregnant, should you be forced to have a child? That's fucking ridiculous. There are a lot of ways to not get pregnant. Yeah, what if you get pregnant anyway? Then don't spread your life. Dude, we get it. You don't get bitches. So that might be easy for you to say because you've never had sex in your life and you never will have sex because no woman wants to touch you with a 10-foot pole. But for the rest of us that do have sex, you know, we don't want to deal with that. Like, make it make sense. Host is so mad. Why? Because I get bitches and they don't? That doesn't make sense. Am I allowed to call you mommy is crazy. Practice safe sex. I agree. Yeah, Incel outed himself. True. True. I'm a happily married man with a kid. Okay, so you're like balding, your wife's pussy is dried up, you're ugly, your kid hates you secretly. Yeah, okay. When was the last time your wife had an orgasm? I'd like to know. And Tyrone doesn't count, okay? Tyrone coming over doesn't count. I need to know. I need to know. Yeah, no way, dude can flag. Yeah, no, your wife getting blacked by Tyrone last week doesn't count. Enjoyment of sex is a sin. Well then, call me a sinner, because I do enjoy sex. Well, you're awesome, Femyoz. Let's fucking go. Only the gays do it right. True. I'm in a poly relationship with your mom and your wife. True. Anyways. And this whole time, I thought you were a biological female identifying as a man. I can never recover. Yeah. What will you do? What will you ever do? I think mommy is fitting. Damn, y'all are some fucking subby ass bottoms. Yeah, you're allowed to call me mom, but like it doesn't make any sense. I don't really fit that archetype, to be honest. To be totally and completely transparent and honest, I don't really fit that archetype. I'm sorry. Maybe in the future I will. Favorite color, Femyoz? I don't know. Clear. That's right. I think clear is a pretty cool color. What do you guys think? You think it's cool? I think it's cool. I think it's based and epic and red pilled, actually. Anyways. Friendly fire will not be tolerated. Anyways, I just realized I was gonna end stream a while ago. I just never did. You look easy to draw. Draw me right now, then. I think clear is the opposite of the color. Maybe. Or wouldn't that... Or would it be? Or would it be the lack thereof? Anyways, damn, she's cute. Thank you. You guys are so sweet. You crushed my expectations? Let's fucking go. So based. So fucking based. Pro tip, read my comments, it's always a banger. True. True. Oh. Man, I'm tired. I'm getting tired, bitch. Why do I need to pee? I need to pee again. Bitch. I should end stream, honestly. You are not a woman. You have no say on abortion. Okay, let's say I'm a big hairy man or whatever the fuck. Whatever the fuck you think. Okay? Why does that determine the correctness of my position? That doesn't make any sense. Whether or not I'm right about something isn't determined by whether or not I have the capacity to give birth. That's fucking retarded. You're too hydrated? I'm actually not. I think I actually might have, like, an overactive bladder. I'm not sure, because, like, I'll drink, like, a normal amount of water, or, like, less than you're supposed to, and it's, like, I have to, like, constantly piss. It's, like, I found out that, like, even once every 2 hours is, like, way higher than average. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I thought that was normal. Yo, thank you 33 for being a member for 7 months. God damn. Being a part of supporter gang. Saying thigh jump scare for bigots. True. If you want to make my thighs show up on screen, become a member today. Gift some memberships and they'll show up a bunch. Yeah. Do you keep up with an alien lore? No, I don't. Men should be able to opt out of child support. It depends on the context. Like, if they never agreed to keeping the child in the first place, no. They shouldn't have to pay child support, right? Because it's like, as soon as the bitch got pregnant, like, even though beforehand they, like, agreed that, like, yeah, if this happens, get an abortion, like, if she just, like, changes her mind, like, that shouldn't, like, negatively affect the guy. Like, why should he have to suffer with that? I don't know, it just seems misandrist. Let clones get abortions? True. Abortion is okay, but only if it's a clone, apparently. You have intrinsic value, and you've had value your entire life. Someone loves you. Yeah, there's people that love me. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. But I don't know if that means I have intrinsic value. I don't know if that's what that means. And if I do, we might not agree on why I would have intrinsic value if I were to. Anyways. Femyoz, can I see your ears? What if I don't have ears? What if I'm actually deaf? Men should have the right to financial abortion up to a cutoff where the woman can still medically abort on the basis of it. True. True. I agree. Yes, all humans have intrinsic value. Even a brain-dead human? That makes no sense. Why would they be valuable? They're brain-dead. They don't experience anything. Anyways. Let's see. It doesn't matter. You're important. And if no one said that to you, I'm saying it. Well, thank you, Lissa. I guess I was just like reading it in like terms of like a philosophy nerd speak. Not in philosophy nerd speak, but like just yeah, you get what I mean. Are you vegan? No, but I should be. Vegans are morally correct. We're getting there. I was getting there, and then like I fucking gave up on it for a little bit just because I was like really fucking mentally ill and like dude. Well, I'll get there eventually. It's really difficult because I'm a picky ass eater. Opinion on the slur troon being reclaimed. Oh, I think the word troon is funny as fuck. I use it all the time. I don't think we should take it seriously. But yeah, I transitioned to not having ears. True. True. When I wear headphones, it's for decoration. Anyways. Not all humans have value, especially right-wingers. True. Are you vegan as if fruits and vegetables aren't alive? Well, yeah, they can be alive, but like that doesn't mean that they're sentient or worth moral consideration. Idiots' opinions are worthless. Yeah, we kind of agree on that. She troon on my poon until I bloom. True. Anyways. Does Femyoz is adorable bottom and based AF? How? I'm no. What do you mean? Okay, I am based AF. I'm not adorable or a bottom. I'm big and strong and scary. Okay, I'm big and strong and scary. I'm a big strong top. I'm a big strong toppy top. That's right. Anyways. No, you can be vegan while getting the nutrients you need. It's just harder. But no, you can do it. You can get all the protein you need and shit like that. Scary uwu? Yeah, I am. I am scary. Tea here. You're an adorable, delicate flower. Nuh-uh. There's still no evidence of the Arcusi. True. True. A dead frog will recoil if you shock it. I don't give a fuck. And that fetus hits a damn jig. Oh, yeah. True. You have bottom personality? No, I don't. You're young and naive. How old do I look? How old do you think I am? Bitch, how old do you think I am? How old do I look? How old do you think I am? Charlie Squirtlamau? 12 is crazy. Okay. 40 is also crazy. 23. 67. 25. 21. 8. 30 is crazy. 25. 20. 5. 4. Dude, 30 is crazy. See, when people guess too high or too low, it's obvious that they're lying. 24, 20, 19, 20, 2. Okay. 6, 7, 20, 166. Yeah, pushing 50. Very true. How'd you know? 19 to 20, 22 to 23. Actual newborn baby. Ageless. 22. How old would you... The question is, how old would you date? What's the oldest that I would date? I don't know. Probably like 30-something. You're 21. This is common knowledge. True. But I mean, this person's like, you know, they're acting like I'm super young. You're a kid. I can hear it in your argument. Okay, what part of my argument do you disagree with? Yeah, I'm 21. Why did host dismiss your evidence? We went over it. It wasn't very good evidence. It doesn't prove anything. Oh, based with the same age. 21 is super young. No, it's not. Hi, retardios. Hello. Can't resist an older woman. Not if they're hot, no. Yeah, being young doesn't mean you're wrong. True. You ask your age every stream. Because people bring it up, and I'm like, how old do you think I am? Because they ask me, and I'm like, well, I'm going to ask you instead. You are a kid. You barely thought about life. Damn, that's crazy. What does that have to do with the arguments I've made? Cute in a weird way? Hell yeah. Are you is autistic? You better believe I am is. You are a kid, cannot be serious. Yeah, not for real. Anyways. Yeah, what does it mean to think about life? Yeah, I think about a lot of things, including that. Well, you need to think harder. Well, what if I have? What if I've already, like, thought more about life than you and you just don't realize it because I think at, like, 5 times the speed that you do? Then what? Anyways. Anyways, I need to pee and I'm gonna end stream. So I love y'all. Bye. If you haven't joined the Discord server already, make sure to do that. Okay. If you want to join the community, we're gonna do a VC in the server. That's right, everyone. It's gonna be so epic. Piss maxing, true. True. I Femyoz make better arguments next time. Well, all the arguments I made were, you know, were better than yours. That's for fucking sure. You didn't even make an argument. You did not make yourself look good, buddy. Dog, you're the one that said that it would be okay to kill a clone for not having unique DNA, you fucking moron. But alright. No, why? I'm the one that looks bad. Alright. Not everyone.